We ought to come back in here. This this is an example of the devices being hacked into. So when you're talking about certain things like this, people need to be aware of these technologies being used on amongst citizens, and regular civilians are being affected by it because it's involving whoever you're around. So I'm gonna continue off where I left off in that last live, y'all. Go ahead and make that live public if they, cause usually when I'm done, I have to make it public. It's not always public, but I was reacting to more Black Valiant on YouTube, and he was, I guess, reading a letter that, or a tweet that Nicki posted, and he said something is very strange happening with Gucci Mane and his wife. So my phone literally just powered off. It was on like 70%. Within 5 minutes, it went dead. Plus, it was on the charger. I had my car literally running with the charger connected to it. And I promise you, I will not lie to you, the phone powered off. So that's because someone was hacked into my phone. One thing about the motherboards, if it's too many devices or software over, just over capacity of the phone itself, it will cause the phone to glitch and ultimately shut off or overheat. So that's what happened with my phone. And I'm literally on a totally different phone right now. So here we go. I called some bodyguards and I just planned a whole kidnap, and we kidnapped him. So in this section, I was explaining before the phone powered off that I don't think that Keisha Kaur is his handler. I feel like Gucci and Keisha Kaur is being affected by this MK Ultra software that people don't believe exists. This software, it dates way back to Stockholm syndrome. You guys don't know about Stockholm syndrome, and there's another one, y'all. I have to go in my phone and erase clips so that I could go ahead and get y'all a more detailed video, bringing you some facts on these things about Operation Paperclip. During the war, these technologies was used on the military, on the soldiers, to keep them awake, to have them have more momentum. This technology was used purposely for that in the beginning, but now what's happening is a alliance is now using this software amongst people, the citizens, and this is why it needs to be studied. This is why people should know about these things happening around them, so they can bypass these things when it's happening, because a lot of things are being systematically created to begin with. So therefore, this situation with Gucci and Keisha Kaur needs to be addressed, and people worldwide needs to see this happening, because it's happened before. It didn't start with Gucci. It didn't start with Soldier Boy. It didn't start with a lot of these other celebrities that lives have been affected by this. It started way back because this was about land. This was about the indigenous tribes that inherited certain gifts and certain things, and they wanted to control the land itself. They wanted to control the people, and they continue to do it. It's just now what we seeing is that see, look, what I think happened, what went wrong with this whole operation, is that people started to get greedy. This for the brotherhood. They started to want more control over certain things based off emotion and based off feeling. It's the reason why most of their alliances turning on them, and giving these tactics over to investigators who are investigating this alliance. So therefore, everything they do is being documented. I even explained in the last live that because I wanted to address certain comments, I seen what the agents in the comments, because they hire agents in the comments to say certain things to direct certain mindsets to believe certain things, because a lot of these labels were given to a lot of these people for a specific reason, to discredit them. Like I said in the last live, they want to discredit anything you say. It's being weaponized for so long, and we've been seeing this happen online, that people just sweep it under the rug and just call it something that is not. I mentioned the fact, and this is alleged YouTube. I mentioned the fact that schizophrenia and bipolar has been used for plenty celebrity incidents. If you go back and think about what I'm saying, you're gonna see a lot of these celebrities, they were classified as schizophrenic and bipolar. And the fact that schizophrenia was created for this main reason, y'all. This probably not alleged, but I'm gonna say allegedly. But the CIA and the FBI created schizophrenia based on the studies of the subjects that they were studying, which means that they created that situation and symptoms to begin with. So the fact that those labels that was created is being used amongst the people that's being targeted, that itself needs to be studied. And we can't keep sweeping it under the rug, because that means that a lot of these labels needs to be disclassified, just like certain medications. But then I'm going too far.
And took him to the hospital because we could not get him to the hospital. And he was trying to fight them and everything, but it was six of them. He couldn't handle it. And we threw him in the car. He would try to jump out the car. So we put him in the center of the car.
You see, a lot of people don't know that, and I'm here to tell y'all, because allegedly they're in the knowing now, and I said it in my last live, but we're gonna just go ahead and touch base again. That bipolar is mimicking autism, which means they missed it. Scientists missed it. That means probably nobody have bipolar.
And that was like his last episode.
No, that's a 5150.
And the fact they keep using it to set a point, to prove a
Yeah,
point,
but they
needs to
try
be
to do
studied.
things where he could sign himself out, and I'm like, he's not signing. Like, I'm stern with them. He's not signing
MK
himself out.
Ultra
I'm his
again.
wife, and I'm his power of attorney. He ain't going nowhere. Like, I have to be strict. It's kind of like you have to go and
It's funny that that line is being said, and I'm getting people telling me to do that to my daughter, and I could, nobody said this, but I could tell that people probably reaching out to my family members telling them to do that to me, which says the main goal of this, that Keisha K. Orr just said this, and I just had a uniform, and somebody just mentioned this to me for me to do this. You know what I'm saying? It's not see, a lot of us falling for it, a lot of other parents, a lot of other people falling for it, don't realize it's not in their favor in the end, because they want you to do that for one reason: to just discredit whatever that person is saying, to bypass whatever that person wants. And this should be allowing people to do that. Here we go, this for Trump, y'all. Allowing people to do that is against a person's free will, so that should even be disclassified.
mode, and put your foot
Since
down.
we see that there's alliances forming situations in people's lives just so that they can do that.
You scared?
I was never scared he would hurt me. People were scared for me, but it's a scary moment.
Yeah, and this what scares a lot of people is speaking up about the truth. And I know that a lot of people, what people may think and what people say to me, oh, they gonna put you in one. That's fine, because as long as I get my word out, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
As I asked her that, was she scared? She was like, I'm not scared of you.
I tell him all the time during that, I'm not scared of you, so we gonna figure this out. Like, I have
Yeah.
to get gangster with him, because and I'm like, all right, we gonna see. Yeah. Let's do this,
And the ice cream fever dreams.
I didn't notice that this video came out October 20. Oh, okay, this is October. I thought it said 2024. I didn't notice that.
You said when you need help, the only person you can rely on is yourself.
So did Nicki just say this? Because y'all, I just clicked on YouTube. This was the first video of my feeds. I didn't see anything about Nicki Minaj posting this tweet or anything like that.
That way, because that's how I felt, especially with, like, you really the only person you can do it. Like, you got to do the work yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you want to, like, really get better, people can want it for you, but you still got to want it more than they do. You know what I'm saying? You got to want it. You got to do the work. You got to live with it. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably why I said that. The reason I asked is because you start the book off talking about Big Scar. And, you and Keisha definitely helped Big Scar in that moment when he was having an episode. Yes. So, I mean, you did help somebody. Nah, I was trying my best to save Scar. I was trying my best to save Scar.
See, and this is MK Ultra. Like, what I don't know, I don't mean no disrespect with Gucci, y'all. Respect him as a person, but I just don't think that that's Gucci. I just don't feel like, I'm an energy person, y'all. I don't think that that is Gucci. I said it in my last live, a lot of mockery with Gucci. I saw it. I don't know if I'm just going too far with this, but y'all, this up for debate. When he first came out, I noticed a lot of mockery. And I know I said this briefly, but I noticed the things that he said was being shoved upon his supporters, his subscribers, and it was for a main reason. And I said this too: technology is being campaigned. Technology is being, and this may be a bad thing and it may be a good thing, but I feel like it's a bad thing, because it caused so many people to just disregard the fact that this guy is being used as a weapon by this alliance. I haven't seen them do, and forgive me if I'm wrong, and maybe it's because I don't follow Gucci no more, but I haven't seen for them to campaign him so much about coming out being healthy. I think that was just a cover up. This is the point I'm trying to make. It was just a cover up. It was never campaigning healthy eating habits. It was never campaigning changing your life around, even going to jail can change. It was never none of that. Even in the sarcastic gestures and the sarcastic things they promoted about Gucci when he got out, it was mainly to promote jail. Allegedly, it was mainly to promote jail and technology, y'all. And this is bad for the young men coming up, because maybe that explains why the music took the route it took. Maybe it explains why. See, look, and this is being handled from the top.
Like, even he was a big inspiration for the book as well. But what was like, when I reached out to the co-writer Kathy on writing the book, I was telling her about, like how I helped Scar, and I was, my wife was talking to me, but she was on, like, I wouldn't even let Scar know that she was telling me the stuff to tell him. It, like, while we writing the book, like discussing the book and just going over how we're gonna make it, Scar died. So I hear her like, Scar done passed away. It went for him being an inspiration. Before I can even finish the book, he passed away. So that was just super deep, and it made me.
Here we go again. Let me tell y'all how y'all could know this MK Ultra, and I probably shouldn't say it, but because videos and pictures are forever, you can see the difference when they modify things, because our opinion matters and they adjust things based off of what you notice as a whole, because this is a social experiment. Not alleged though, YouTube. So notice that his delivery with everything he says, here we go, guys, it's more of it's more of a how do I want to say this? It's more of a statement, if anything, and if that makes sense to you. And it's like he's reading something. Basically, what I'm trying to say is you could tell that that's MK Ultra software. They're literally implanting sentences for him to say.
I gotta do this. I gotta even be more vulnerable, because
let's go back so I can prove my point. Notice that he's not really answering his question at all. It's more of a statement.
Like, you got to do the work yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you want to, like, really get better, people can want it for you, but you still got to want it more than they do. You know what I'm saying? You got to want it. You got to do the work.
Hold up. Let's go all the way back, because I want you to prove that he didn't answer his question.
I was never scared he would hurt me. People were scared for
Let's
me.
listen to all this. He's going to go way over the question.
I asked her that, was she scared? She was like, I'm not scared of you.
I tell him all the time during I'm not scared of you, so we gonna figure this out.
Or he gonna go over everything she says and what the lady say.
Yeah. Let's do this, you know.
in the Ice Cream Fever Dream chapter, Gucci, you said that when you need help, the only person you can rely on is yourself.
Yes.
Why did you feel that way?
Because that's how I felt, especially with, like, you really the only person you can do. Like, you got to do the work yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you want to, like, really get better, people can want it for you, but you still got to want it more than they do. You know what I'm saying? You got to want it. You got to do the work. You got to live with it. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably why I said that.
The reason I asked is because you start the book off talking about
Big
Scar.
So listen to this.
You and Keisha definitely helped Big Scar in that moment when he was having an episode.
Yes.
I mean, you did help someone.
Listen to what, did you hear what he asked him? And listen to what Gucci response is.
Save Scar. Mm-hmm. I was trying my best to save Scar, and, like, even he was a big inspiration for the book as well. But what was like, when I reached out to the co-writer Kathy on writing the book, I was telling her about, like how I helped Scar, and my wife was talking to me, but she was like, I wouldn't even let Scar know that she was telling me the stuff to tell him. It, like, while we writing the book, like discussing the book and just going over how we're gonna make it, Scar died. So I hear her like, Scar done passed away. It went for him being an inspiration. Before I can even finish the book, he passed away. So that was just super deep, and it made me like, I gotta do this. I gotta even be more vulnerable, because I'm gonna help people that I don't even know. Because I was trying to help somebody who was so close to me. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't succeed.
Mm-hmm. When you break down in the book that September 13th episode, right?
Yeah.
And you said you don't even remember a lot of the things that you said. Did you
understand everything he said was so deep, because he was really saying that he didn't succeed with Scar. This is a message. Everything that's another mockery. This is how I notice it. It's a whole mockery. What you trying to do is not gonna work. Pretty much really what they saying to Gucci. I don't feel like Gucci passed away. People saying this is my opinion. I think Gucci somewhere and know about the clone.
Go back and say, you
I
know
think
what?
I
Let me
said this
fix some
before,
of those situations.
but I'm certain about it now.
And who did you call first to say, let me fix that? Because
I believe maybe yeah, it explains maybe because a lot of comments saying that Gucci somewhere locked up. Maybe he is, but wherever he is, I think he know about the clone, y'all, and I think they even may be afraid. And I may be wrong about this, y'all. I don't wish that on nobody. Maybe they're afraid that either he may come out and tell the truth. If not Gucci telling the truth, somebody close to him that know about this clone and know that this is not Gucci is gonna speak out about it. And this is why they're so scared right now with people finding out.
There that morning, and we just remember it's like, damn, Gucci just going crazy on everybody. And the sad
That's another. That was another MK Ultra tactic. Whoever that was talking, I'm not really too into these people online. The Breakfast Club. I think that's who they reacting to. I don't really listen to these people, so I definitely don't know who that was by voice, by hearing him. But whoever that was, just literally said a trigger word for a response from Gucci. Now let's listen to what Gucci gonna say after that, because what he said was definitely a trigger word.
And the sad thing about
Hold on, let's go back so you
and
can
you
see.
said you don't even remember a lot of the things that you said. Did you have to go back and say, you know what? Let me fix some of those situations.
Yes.
And who did you call first?
When he say Gucci going crazy,
we were on air that morning, and we just remember it's like, damn, Gucci just going crazy on everybody. And the sad, and the sad thing about it is for media
watch
press
this.
is like that's gold at first, like oh this that and the other. Then when you sit back and look at it, be like damn, like maybe we shouldn't have went that hard and promoted because we can see now that he was going through episodes. So the first question is
that in the book about the media's role in that. Yeah, but to answer Envy, I was super embarrassed and hurt by the things I said because like I wasn't well then, right? So
You gotta follow what I'm trying to say. They literally just initiated the software just now. Cause now Gucci, here we go, more of a statement than really even saying anything.
I got locked up. So a lot of those people who I was saying stuff to, they were like, I ain't never.
Because you got to hear it come out of his mouth. This was their goal. We need him to say this himself.
So even when I got out 3 years later, I still was like, I apologize to Ross, Drake, Nicki, like all the people accepted my apologies. They just don't know. It's like a weight off my shoulders because I had been like, because I was wrong. Like Ross ain't did nothing but help me. You know what I'm saying? And I said something about him. Birdman did all this stuff for me. Why would I say something about him? So I felt bad. You know what I'm saying? I felt terribly bad. And it was just eating me. It was like, it was super heavy on me. You know what I'm saying? So I apologize to everybody. Everybody that would accept my apology, I apologize to everybody who would accept my call.
Okay, so now we're going to start right here. I have not seen the whole video, but we're going to let the angels clarify what I'm going to say. So, again, I feel like Nicki Minaj is being campaigned. Maybe her team has alerted her. Maybe this is a free read for you guys. I feel like somehow she knows about this. See, now look, this the thing. Because this explains all of them. I'm not gonna say nobody else name if I got something bad to say. I'm just gonna give an example. Notice that this is how I noticed that with certain celebrities are going along with this campaign and unwillingly and willingly. Some of them don't know that they're being used as bait, and they may find out too late. But this is how I know who is a part of the alliance, the ones that are going against Nicki Minaj. Let's say this one more time. The people and celebrities, family members included, the people that's going against Nicki Minaj is in alliance with the people that are targeting Nicki Minaj. And it's deeper why they targeting Nicki, and I'm gonna get to that. But let's clarify.
Just think anybody who I was dissing, I apologize to.
one look at Gucci thinking he's slick. I see that triangle. I know how he holding them hands right there. Y'all see it.
What he's pointing out is that he's doing the brotherhood pose. What I notice is, again, clarifying what I just said. I noticed that a lot of these people that's been going against Nicki, I'm talking about beyond the years, but recently, a lot of them have these symbolisms. A lot of them show you these symbolism. A lot of them show these hand gestures because they're promoting this alliance, y'all.
You see that triangle. I know what you're doing.
And because here we go, another mockery tactic that I'm gonna point out. They'll make this Gucci is doing this as a mockery because this guy said in tapes long time ago. Y'all go ahead and dig all this stuff up that's still there. This guy kind of really told you that, hey, I noticed this brotherhood organization, they want me, they like me. You know what I'm saying? He was saying this shit sarcastically. I'll never join these motherfuckers. He said it.
But anyways, y'all, check this out, right? So in the beginning, I thought it was very interesting that he said he didn't want to have an episode that he wouldn't come back from. Now, before I talk about the rest of the clip, I encourage y'all to go watch the first 11 minutes. If you haven't seen it, I've already mapped it out for you. All you need to watch is the first 12 minutes.
And I can't play that on here.
But
because like he said, these people will copyright you. So
you can see Gucci's demeanor and the way that he still looks at her for her to answer things that he's not quite remembering or knows what's going on.
And that's what I get. I was talking in my last live about the fact that my girls there, and this is what they didn't want me to say. This is why my live got shut. Like, I noticed that this guy, when he got out, I would even say this to him because I noticed things he would say that he would just never say, y'all. He would never say. And what my point in comparing those two is because I really feel like this, and it'd be crazy if it exposed everywhere, whether I'm here to see it or not. But I really feel like my girl's dad and Gucci, I'm gonna just say it, y'all. I have to. I really feel like they messed with both of them, y'all. And I'm not gonna get deep into what I'm saying, but I'm just saying I really feel like they messed with both of them. The fact that this dude called himself Gucci before he went inside, and now this gonna go over a lot of people's head. The fact that he acted like him before he got out, before he went in, they literally mocked this guy. They mocked my girl's dad and this guy. They mocked them so bad. Ah, man, I don't want to say too much, y'all, because
he doesn't really remember.
I don't want this guy to come try to sue me
on episodes. Now, back in 2013, they kept saying September 13th.
To the investigators that's investigating this, please look into what I just said.
But the tweets were in September 2013. Now, I don't know if they were also September 13th, 2013. That would be some crazy numerology. But y'all remember the tweets back in 2013.
Wow.
Right after
that was confirmation.
3-4 years in jail.
That was confirmation. Angels want me to say it because I was getting 1017 a lot. I was getting 1017 for about 10 years of my life with I'm talking about assistance that I would get. The card number would be 1017, down to the buildings they would send me to would say 1017. I'm onto something, y'all. I know it may sound crazier than I sound, but I'm onto something.
He didn't blame it on nothing else. Now, I will tell y'all one thing.
I didn't think about that till just now.
Rumors, and they didn't quite make it to the internet at the time. This was like before Gucci went to jail, that people would have to go and get Gucci off the middle of the highway because he was on drugs, and he would just start driving his cars, getting out of the cars and running down the highway. It was kind of like, you know, if you live here in Atlanta, you heard about it if you was just...
I was in Miami hearing this stuff. People, the underground radio stations were saying all this stuff.
Attention enough. People would talk about that back in those days, right? Call that whatever you want to call it, right? This was before Clone Gucci.
Right.
This was before anything. So these tweets right here, y'all remember this stuff. He was talking about him and Waka having sex with Nicki. He was saying F Jeezy, Tip, Gotti, Waka, Nicki Minaj, Drake, Wu, Frenchie, all the people in his group back then. Coach K, Eminem, OJ, Quavo, Takeoff. I mean, he was dissing everybody. One thing you gotta remember.
I remember that.
You know, as far as Atlanta,
I remember that.
Gucci,
and I always felt like this is when they got to Gucci.
It's pretty much responsible for everybody. Migos, Young Thug, Pee Wee Longway, introduced Thug to Gucci. Some of the most influential artists, just about every artist went through Gucci. Some of the most influential artists were influenced by Gucci. I mean, Chief Keef.
And they messed this. See, look, this is why this need to be talked about. This is for Gucci. They really messed his face up. They really messed his name up. His movement that he tried to start. This is, see, when they had Kodak, and I have respect for Kodak. I don't know why I just blurted that out. See, because I really feel like they did something to Kodak. So all my respect to him, I would never troll him. This is just my opinion. But when they released Kodak, they had Kodak donating stuff and doing similar stuff that Gucci was doing. And I'm not saying that's not take away the fact that this was a charitable moment. This was inspiring. The fact it wasn't what he did, it was more of how they made him do exactly what Gucci was doing. I know y'all heard the stories of Gucci giving away uh fans, and I think it was he didn't see. The thing is, they made Gucci Kodak give away box fans, like the actual AC units. But remember, Gucci was giving away fans, literally fans. Yeah, I know people remember that. They show you who is who by the things they make them do, y'all. So what am I trying to say? Yes, I believe they cloned Kodak too.
Artist growing up was Gucci. So this gives you an idea
And
of
if it's
how
not, and what I feel with Kodak, it's not actually a clone though. It's they cloned his DNA. This person is probably getting plasma treatments allegedly. This person, this they probably gave him this rundown of you can perform more like Gucci. You can do, you know what I'm saying, and without telling them the whole ordeal. So yeah, there's people that's willingly. I spoke about the unwillingly people that's helping this alliance, and then you got the willingly participants that's trying to move up the ladder. This is why it needs to be talked about. The people that want to join this alliance should be embarrassed to know the whole ploy of it, because this organization was funded by, I said this in my last live, this is the importance. I try to get some of these baby masons brotherhood guys to see that they're being used as a pawn, just like our forefathers when we speak about the Native Americans enslaving one another when they was forced to do it. So you're no better than them, because you're helping enslave your lineage in a modern evolized, or if I'm saying evolve way.
influential Gucci really was at that time. Basically, had the rap game in a chokehold at one time, right? Y'all remember these tweets? He said, everyone in the industry has a hidden agenda. Every person let greed and pride conquer them. It's sad, but I've been in jail so much, it humbled me. These tweets.
All right, let's turn the camera. Let's see if y'all can see my back, because I got a lot of police activity that keep riding behind me. So I want to show y'all that when I go live and talk about these certain things, damn, you can't see my back window. When I go live and talk about these certain things, I get a lot of the corrupt ones, because it's not all of these police officers. It's the ones that's a part of the lodges that go to these meetings, and they don't understand that their own are watching them do this stuff. They seeing them do these techniques. So what I'm explaining is that these corrupt cops, they come behind me when I'm live. They come try to intimidate me. They even sit in front of my house.
Sound like somebody who's going through a bipolar schizophrenic episode. Iggy Azalea wanna blah blah blah.
And I love the way that, the fact that they do this to regular civilians. I'm noticing it happen to these people like Orlando Browns. When they come start talking about this stuff, I'm seeing the tactics, just like the investigators that's investigating this are seeing them label people and move real quick to prove a point, and they expose themselves. And it also expose what the person is talking about, because we've evolved to realize that tactics are being done.
I try not to be too vulgar with these tweets. Y'all can see it on the screen. He's talking about Rocco. He talked about Sierra. He exposed a lot. Tiger. He said, what else he said? He talked about Rocco a lot. Like he said, he talked about Rick Ross. Y'all can see these tweets on the screen. They're up long enough that y'all can read them pretty much. He even talked about Tiny, T.I.'s wife. Said he wanted to smash her little ugly self.
And this was starting. See, this is the thing. This is when they got to Gucci then, and people gonna miss this. But it was a method to their madness of doing this. This was like trying to initiate some of them, some of these people that was named were eventually initiated, but most of these people are being targeted that he mentioned.
Saying all kind of shit, right? Damn near exposing the entire industry. Just who knows what the hell was going on with Gucci? Maybe it was that lean.
Nah,
maybe it was whatever.
This is when they got to Gucci.
Else he was on at that time. My point of all this, right? It's clear, even from the beginning.
See, look, what people missed is the reason he went to jail was for reprogramming. Check that. That's a fact check right there. The reason they took him in, he was in there for 4 years. It take them that long to perfect the MK Ultra technology that they use for that replica or clone.
When the first clone rumors hit the internet, and we already had.
See, what they saw was him spazzing out, jumping out of the car. People missing this. It dates far back. See, the investigators missed this. What they saw him doing when he was jumping out of the car, and people saying that he was hitting them because, like I said, I noticed my girl's dad got out. He was beating my ass, and he ended up going back to jail right after that. He was out of control before they took him back to jail.
Visual proof that this was a clone
when he never act like that before.
We already thought that was not Gucci. That's just what we could see with our eyes. And we also got the feeling that.
Notice I'm telling you, my girl's dad went to the feds, y'all.
You know, she was there to guide him, to introduce him back into the world. Y'all remember when he got out of jail? The man acted like he couldn't do anything.
Got out skinny, looking just like my girl's dad, and my girl's dad, when it came out, looking just like Gucci did before he went out. This is not alleged.
He acted like he couldn't even rap, talk, work a phone, nothing. She had to do everything for him. Everything. Almost like this was a new body.
Shout out to my girl's dad. I'm not throwing no shade. If you ever see this, if any of his family ever see this, this is me justifying them. I'm taking it a different route now, and I feel like his story need to be exposed because they did something to that guy in there, and they released something that I don't know who he is, and his family definitely don't know who he is.
She's consciousness in the body. It's like she taught him everything. That's why I said
I may get a cash out from him tomorrow.
You to go watch the first 11 and 12 minutes because you get to see their interaction sitting next to each other, and he still looks over to her to say and finish.
And I'm being sarcastic saying this because every time I talk about this online, it's like they send this clone. I'm gonna say this. I don't care. They send this clone to reach out to me.
Certain things.
Like an apologetic way without apologizing.
You can feel it with them too. It honestly is kind of freaky. This is a crazy situation when you really think about this shit. Because we're seeing live a person who is not himself anymore. And it's not because he worked out and got healthy.
Oh, man.
Out of nowhere, they're just trying to say that all that stuff was schizophrenia and bipolar. And
when again, this label is not even a real label. People are missing this, and the whole world needs to research it and be concerned about it because you are allowing something that's not even fucking real to be classified amongst your loved ones, y'all. This is real deep because one thing the scientists, this is my opinion, the scientists need to come forward and tell the truth. Maybe this will get people thinking that there's only really two mental health disorders, which is anxiety and stress, which are natural occurrences can cause that, which means it could be easily treated. But the fact that we named so many other things because we were confused about certain things and we didn't know about it, we're in the knowing now. So we need to go back and say, but see, that'll make that a lot of people will get mad, and this is what they wrote about. People will get mad, they will sue, and they want to avoid that, so they may never tell the truth. But if they tell people like, hey, we've evolved, we know things, this is for the brotherhood, we know these things now, we didn't know it before, it'll prevent people from wanting to sue. But the thing we need to do is to tell the truth. That these labels are not real.
Officially been diagnosed with it. Gucci sitting there really trying to sell that.
This would justify Gucci and the Whitney Houstons and so many people that were sabotaged by this corrupt alliance that abused medical practices and even down to their doctors and therapists, bribing them to make these bribes and label these people these certain labels, because most of these therapists were contacted prior.
Well, he was going through it. That he tried to save Big Scar off his label from going.
Let's say that, because what I'm trying to understand is why this speaks for a lot and a lot of people. Why did they hide my autism diagnosis from me when it was very, very, very relevant? The fact that they was questioning this about my mom when she was a baby. So if you were questioning, if you thought this about the parent, and this is documented because all the files follow you, the brotherhood show you that, right? So that means that a lot of doctors are being paid hush money. This is when they should be worried and say, oh no, we can't do that no more for the brotherhood.
The same thing, saying that Big Scar was the one who inspired the book about mental health, and then all of a sudden he.
Why am I going so hard on autism? Because Gucci was autistic, and Gucci may have known or didn't know, but I could tell the difference. Gucci was autistic, so now he's being labeled something that he's not.
From an overdose or whatever. He the one out of everybody that inspired the book. Don't that sound crazy to y'all? It just don't make no sense. And I just find this to be one freaky.
See, the thing is, a lot of people say, why is everybody going to be autistic? Not, and we've always been here, just like our indigenous folks. The thing is that a lot of people just didn't know, and a lot of people that did know didn't want the person to know for these specific reasons, because it's deeper. It gets real deeper, because that'll expose all of these man-made labels that was created, because most of these mental health disorders are actually mentally health, or it's not even mental health. It's more of genetics, and they don't want to admit that.
Situation with his wife, not to mention she looking crazy as hell too. I ain't seen her in a while. I don't follow her on Instagram or nothing.
Why am I addressing it? Because this brotherhood organization figured that we can solve this issue. This is why they created this, because a lot of these mental health disorders were created by see, look, the thing was, when this Stockholm syndrome experiment went on, it affected so many families, because these soldiers had to go home. These soldiers had to interact with regular people, and now it's causing a mayhem amongst anybody that's interfering with these people that came back, that were being socially experimented on. This is when it gets deep. And now you getting their loved ones and family members who are experiencing it, because it's just like let's give a natural example. It's just like being around some type of gas or something, it spreads. This is the same way they use this MK Ultra software. And this experiment, it affected so many people, just like gas going through the air. So now those people are exhibiting these symptoms because they are experimental to begin with. A lot of these people that are being classified as schizophrenia and bipolar are mimicking the symptoms of the person that are being experimented on. So now it's spreading like gas. So this is why it's really important that people understand that these man-made labels are being abused.
Her face ain't even moving when she talked. Whatever she done got done to her face and stuff, one side bigger than the other, her jawline higher on one side, she looking crazy too.
Have you been wanting to make extra income? Well, I need you at my free beginner investing class. My name is Ashley and Fox.
So I live by, let's pause it. So I do a lot of investigating, right? When my car start getting messed with, a lot of things, I investigate people. And I realized that I have a few good cops stay by me, but I have a person that's involved with this alliance at the lodge live right on my block, right by me. I won't tell you how many houses down. When I'm noticing the MK Ultra being implemented, I notice that it's aligning with everything else that's playing out in my life, and I'm able to step back and say, hey, I'm not gonna react to that. Right now, my heart, I feel a hot sensation. I'm being sarcastic because they're using the software right now because I'm talking about this. This explains why the police keep riding by. My body is hot. My chest is hot, y'all. It's cold outside and I'm feeling hot right now. And I'm probably disoriented with what I'm saying because they trying to scatter my thoughts to probably make me seem like I'm on drugs, or to make me seem like I'm just mentally unstable right now, or maybe they want me to mimic having a schizophrenic episode. But my chest is hot. Is hot.
To me, it's just spooky. Like she
It
is
even
an
feel like I'm
alert for
finna throw
sure.
up.
But man, this shit is on a whole nother level. Just like how when the CIA felt like they needed to come
Nah, that was
and
proof.
say that Gucci
I just
wasn't a
threw up.
clone, y'all, this shit way deeper than just some old, you know. I don't even know what to say.
Thank
I don't
you,
know what to
boys.
say.
Thank you, boys.
Because people be like, why they wanted to clone Gucci, why they wanted to do this. You had to realize, you know, what he was.
Thank you, boys. See the difference between me? I'm gonna show people what you do. I'm not afraid of people taking. I'm not afraid of people taking it wrong, because the important people that know the technology, they could see what just happened. My body is hot.
What he was exposing
These
back then,
people
no
are
artist
disgusting.
was like willing to say. No artist back in 2013.
Their behavior
he
is
would have been on the
disgusting.
verge of really telling every fucking thing that goes on.
Understand there's a lot going on in my life right now. So me saying that was like them punishing me for even talking about this. And it proves that everything I just said was facts.
In the industry, the influence that Gucci had,
thank you, boys,
was
thank you,
outstanding. But who really knows? Who really knows, man? Let's go ahead and check out like 2 or 3 more minutes. I want y'all to hear something else about how she
thank you, boys,
controlled him so he didn't have any episodes since that last rant that he did on Twitter back in 2013.
See, this is what they don't want you to know.
So she said that she has been making sure, you know, she controls everything, his phone and all this other shit, apps and everything, so the internet or the public never sees when he has an episode.
Police.
Check this out.
You see artists doing that now. Do you know exactly what they're going through? Yes.
I do.
We be like, since that's going through an episode. I can see it because I've been through it. And I'm like, I be feeling sorry for them, you know what I'm saying? But because I see the media, they just go with it. Like this person like mad, or they being, you know, like mean or whatever. But they be like going through something really mental. It be some mental health stuff going on. Do you reach out to any of those artists?
So I guess what just happened to me was mental health.
I'm trying to think. Did I reach out? Now I don't do a lot of reaching out because some of them like.
I guess what just happened was mental health, on the strength that I didn't even take an ibuprofen today. I didn't even smoke a blunt today. Let's put a disclaimer in the video. Thank you, boys.
Feel like they wouldn't be accepting of it. You know what I'm saying? Because you know you wouldn't be accepted at that time. Yeah, at that point you can't really talk to them like that. But like my wife
and
said,
I definitely
I
don't
talk
drink.
To the people that know them to tell them how to help them.
When people throw up like that, it's either they food poison or they was drinking. I definitely don't drink. So why the hell? Now that I'm not even feeling hot no more? Why, when my temperature started to rise like that, I throw up? Why?
You know what I'm saying?
I tried to reach out to Kim when Kanye was going through an episode. It bothered me.
And
so
now
much,
my
but I don't
temperature
know
feels
her,
normal
and I
now.
didn't want to feel like a groupie. Yeah. So I tried to send.
Let's start this. Let's talk about this. Not only is my temperature back to normal, I'm sweating now, and it's cold outside. My car is cold right now, and I'm sweating.
messages to people. I never succeeded, but this was during their marriage. I'm like, damn, I want to talk to her so
Hey, y'all
bad.
know
Like,
this
I
is
can help you,
disgusting
but
behavior.
I never was successful.
We talked about that on air the other day because she sat down with Call Her Daddy and talked about what it was like on the inside, while also trying to protect their public image and the way she thought people would look at her if she decided to leave.
Wow.
For you, what was it like? I mean, because we're talking about Kim, what was it like just trying to protect the business that you guys have built while
I have a system.
personally?
I take his apps off his phone. First thing I do, I delete Instagram. I delete everything. Even if I got to change his password, I'm changing it because
So
I don't need.
let's talk about it again. Y'all, this is disgusting behavior. If nobody have a problem with this happening to people, then baby, we all need to wake up and realize what we really on earth for. This is disgusting behavior. To use technology as a weapon on people, like literally,
The public to know he's
this
having
is
an episode.
disgusting.
You realize you'd never know about any other episodes since September 13th because I control that.
This is
Because
disgusting.
you're not going on Instagram, you're not going on Twitter, it's deleted. You know, and I just control everything at home. And now, before the episodes come, I catch
So
it.
if y'all notice these cars that's passing by, notice that every last one of these cars are police cars.
So
If
that's why
y'all
he
could
hasn't
see
had
the
another
lights
one.
passing by.
And how you catch that is he doesn't speak to you. He wants to be left alone. He don't eat. He does not sleep. Text messages, there's a period after each word. And I'm like, you're going through an episode. You're sick. No, I'm not. Ain't that wrong with me? Why do you think that? You're not speaking to me. Well, there's nothing to talk about. I said, well, that's not how you speak to your wife. And I'm like, you're sick. And we snap out of it right then.
Wow. You know, we heard Kim this week say how Kanye just used to.
So is that how that was another statement? That's why I feel like Keisha Kaur is not his handler. She's being handled herself, because that was another MK Ultra statement that she said. Because is that simple to get a schizophrenic person to snap out of an episode? That also proves that schizophrenia is man-made and is being induced, medically induced.
All this stuff he would go
If you could just say you're sick and snap a finger and they're well.
I gave away jury.
Money.
And jury costs so much. You know how much it costs for jury? Like, I would give my friends jury.
See,
and like,
they're letting you know right now, right there, with what she said was that we could use trigger words to make a schizophrenic person snap out of it. This not alleged. This is what I'm observing.
like they know I went well, they'll take it.
Damn. They
That's
took
why,
advantage of you.
I felt like, damn, they know something's going on with me, but they'll take it. So it's like, when I got out of jail, like I cut off all my friends, my old friends. I'm like, damn, they were taking advantage. You know what I'm saying? It was great taking advantage, giving away money.
I wonder what the psychology is behind that. Like, why would you go into an episode
Give away money and I don't know.
You don't care about it.
That's another statement right there. Because what it is that these influencers that they choose to clone, I say it like that. There go another police officer. So here we go. Let's continue with it. You guys can go ahead and give me another episode. So with these influencers that they like to target, is they see them doing good for people that they don't think are deserving of it. This started way back from ancient times, and they didn't like that, so they mocked him and his movement. Understand that he said he was this is a statement, he was giving away money. How are you giving away money if you're gifting it? You're contradicting yourself. This is something that Gucci would never say. The real Gucci would say, yeah, I did. In correction, he would, if he do say that, he would say it differently. Yeah, man, I gave away tons of stuff to people. He would say he gave it away. You said you giving money away. No, it's not making sense, because now you're saying it as if these people stole from you. It's not making sense to me. I don't know. I'm probably not making sense either, but you could tell.
You kind of like in a warp world. It's almost like it's a psychosis. You know what I'm saying? It's not. You dealing with stuff like you hearing voices.
Yeah, they have voices.
And you hearing voices too. Like it's telling you to. You might think that.
And see, what he's explaining is V2K, and a lot of people on this list that's being surveillance, and a lot of them, a lot of their lives are being sabotaged. They have V2K, but a lot of people don't face V2K because they're not reacting to it. Because I believe they will use it on you, and if they successful with the V2K, they will continue to use it. And this is how schizophrenia came about. This is the main reason, one of those symptoms being labeled is for schizophrenia is hearing voices, because the V2K software are implanting. I believe they evolve with V2K these days to where these patients not hearing voices no more, because like I said, they can implant thoughts now, whole sentences with reactions to follow it. But when they first started with this, the subjects was documented to hearing things, and say, things said to them. Like I said this the other day, my friend reached out to me. This young lady is being targeted in her life without saying too much. She said to me, she said, I'm hearing help her. I'm hearing, she literally just said this to me, y'all. I'm hearing help her. And I'm hearing, she even said the KILL word. And I said, girl, you need to go see your therapist, first of all. But this is not normal what you thinking. Because I know this young lady and she don't talk like that. So I'm like, right away I noticed to stay away from her. When she called me, don't go around her. They're using V2K on her.
Man, I might think that you trying to fight me. You ain't even did nothing. We be like, bro, I ain't did nothing to you. What's wrong? Like, I'll be like trying to fight you, Charlamagne. Like, you did this. You know what you did? You stole something from me. And you be like, bro, I ain't stole nothing from you. But
So people who don't know what V2K is, because I know a lot of people follow me don't know about this program. V2K is voice to skull, where they when they implanting these thought patterns, the client claim to hear these thoughts. And like I said, a lot of people not now. I'm gonna be honest with you. They don't. The reason they don't use V2K on me is because this stuff is being recorded, so they can literally hear your reaction to these things. And me, I'm gonna curse them the fuck out. I'm gonna say silly shit that's gonna make them want to turn it off. You could hear you could hear static. This is the most. So when people tell me they hear voices, I kind of used to didn't believe them, because when they have this MK Ultra software initiated around you, because they're using the routers around you, you can hear the static, y'all. You can hear literally, you can hear the static, y'all. It's like sometimes you may get a buzz in your ear. You may get a zzz, and it sound like some type of frequency. That's the most. That's the most I ever hear, y'all. To the therapist who asked me recently, "Are you hearing voices?" I knew what route they was trying to take with asking me those questions, because I never mentioned. I feel like for the therapists who are in practice, don't direct a conversation by saying certain things. Allow somebody to initiate these things to you. This is how you want to be able to diagnose them correctly, because you may say something to a certain person that have MK Ultra software being used on them, and you may use a trigger word to make them admit to something that they're not. See, some people are strong enough to say, oh hell no, I'm not hearing voices, and mean that shit. But then you may have some people say, yeah, like the young lady who told me she hearing voices of help, of something telling her to help her, or something telling her to do the opposite. That's MK Ultra software. And now you ask her, she's gonna say, yeah, I'm hearing voices, when really the answer is no, I don't hear voices, but I did hear voices yesterday. It's a big difference.
I'm like, it's the truth.
Now, that part kind of answer the question about Gucci cutting everybody off, including family and all kinds of people, when he got out of jail. He says it's because he was giving his friends.
But let's take it here, right? Let's stop for a second, because this same label was called possession before it, because people don't realize schizophrenia has just now been worldwidely just talked about now within the last 20 years, y'all. These things were told to be possession, paranormal activity, hearing voices, right? And it shift. You barely hear of possession. You barely hear, which is real. You barely hear of these strange labeling on people that were. Cause see, look, I think I'm gonna go too far if I start talking about the Salem witch trial. So I'm not.
Jury and money, and they were taking it knowing that he wasn't well.
And again, in clarifying the Salem witch trial without getting into it, the same alliance that formed up, because like I said, the Brotherhood and a lot of these baby Masons don't know the alliance they're a part of start from the KKK, but then y'all want to be so pro-black, but you're a part of them. They're using you as a scapegoat, allegedly. But see, look, this same alliance wanted to control, just like coming in saying, I have a solution for this, we can take care of this, like they did with autism. They did the same thing. We'll just call this possession and blame it on the witches.
This is why he cut everyone off and he was only with his wife in an entirely different state in Florida, moved out of Atlanta, so on and so on, right? I call bullshit. I think, the plan was to get him out of Atlanta where people actually knew who he was. He had to be away from everyone in order to get his training into this new person.
I just said this because, but see, the only thing is, we got this pattern wrong. They was working on this guy way before he went to prison, and what he's saying is facts. They needed him to be isolated from everyone to allow the training to take effect, because it's training the mindset.
Or whoever this is,
right? Because it's not a
like
clone.
Gucci, whatever this imposter has going on, whatever agenda they were pushing, they had to get him away from people who actually knew him. That's why when he got out of jail, only certain artists were able to come and see him. Ones that have took the oath and they're not gonna say anything.
See, when those allegations of Gucci going around Atlanta and all this, people will talk about him. People not mentioning in that same sentence when people were saying, oh, he acting crazy, they were also saying, man, he ain't acting the same no more. People were also noticing, then it's swept under the rug. That don't seem like Gucci, man. Something wrong. That's because they had already started working on him. They had already started using that software on him already. And that once they got him back in jail, it was reprogramming time. And they did this to a lot of celebrities right in our face.
To make it look semi-normal. Get him away from his family, friends who really know the real Gucci. They would have pointed out that this is not him from the jump. So I don't think, it's just...
So I'm going to sum this video up once we finish listening to this, because I have a message to the Brotherhood.
Because he was giving them money and jewelry and they took advantage of it. They said, hey, you giving it to me? Cool, I'm going to take it. Don't this all seem so fitting?
I have a message to the Brotherhood. And I feel like with that message, I won't have to justify this anymore, because at that point they'll understand that their deeds is affecting them and their lineage. Like the ones that call themselves proud Brotherhood boys, because they say this to me in my real life, because this is how I live. This is, you get so used to the thought of, okay, this is what my folks taught me, this was right. Understand that your folks in the room somewhere praying that you understand that what you're doing is not right.
Kim Kardashian just went on that podcast and we covered it, and she talked about Kanye giving away all their cars to their friends.
I would never want to mess with anyone's energy. It's very powerful.
Then now, Gucci and his wife come on a radio, and now they start talking about mental health and the same things. And the wife is saying she would delete his apps, take his phone, do this and do that, so the public doesn't know what he's going through or that he's having a so-called episode. To me, this sounds like an excuse to now let y'all know,
right,
that no, this...
And pause it right now, while all of these other celebrities are being campaigned to have issues with schizophrenia. Like I said, that young lady Tyra Spalding, I hold it close to my heart, because literally they was doing this to me around the same time, and would mock me in my life, and show me things like this with this lady Tyra Spalding. The fact that Gucci, they campaign this about Gucci right now says a lot. The fact that they do this right now while they're campaigning Nicki Minaj, when they said the same thing about her, it needs to be studied. It needs to be investigated.
He just bipolar and having schizophrenia. This is the excuse that we're gonna tell y'all. we're gonna come out and tell y'all that this is why he was going through all this shit. Gucci don't even remember none of the stuff, bro. He doesn't even remember it. You can tell. He doesn't remember. I don't think this.
He give me. I like what this guy just said because it made me zone out. He give me the same vibes my girl's dad get. He looks like he's clueless, and I haven't seen him in years, but just I remember being around him then. He looks clueless, even when he's answering questions that he seemed like he know what he's saying. He seemed like he don't remember me at all. Period. Down to the last time we ever got sexual, he doesn't remember me. This the same vibes I get when I look at Gucci. When he's speaking online, when he's talking, he doesn't. He's in this absence, like he's in under hypnosis.
The time where we thought he was a clone when he got out of jail, he don't have no memories of before that.
I like that because there was a person that came out years ago that said he had a conversation with Gucci and he didn't even remember him.
Here. That's why I said this some whole freaky ass get out kind of shit. He don't know what the hell even happened. She tells him what happened. And now I think, you know, they done came up with this thing and told him he's schizophrenia and however you say that shit, and he bipolar, he this and that. So he actually has a story now. The industry believes that he's diagnosed with something.
But nobody ever said this before. And they're campaigning it right now while they doing this in regular people's lives right now. It's a reason why they going this route, y'all. Please follow this online. After you hear me say this, please pay attention now. Please pay attention now. You're going to see exactly what I'm trying to explain to you.
He said he on drugs. He got prescribed medicine.
And they only doing this because someone's questioning them about Gucci. There's investigators that's onto this, but no matter what they do, it's already exposed. And everybody already know the truth. Yeah, people notice that it's not Gucci, guys.
Works for him. Notice how he said that. That works for me. Bro, this nigga, he don't remember nothing, bro. This stuff with Gucci.
He looked just like my girl's dad, man. I promise y'all. They did something sinister. Hey, y'all, listen to what I'm saying. Don't disregard what I'm saying. They did something sinister. I don't care if they come pick me up in the morning. I'm finna tell y'all the truth. They did something sinister, man. This guy looked just like him. This guy act just like my girl's dad. Identical. And mine is identical to Gucci.
Just when I heard the interview and I started listening
and act like him for real now.
I almost couldn't believe it. That's why I'm just talking in this video because it really confirms it. And man, you can just tell he does not remember a damn
because
thing.
This is a social experiment.
Talking about he hearing voices.
So I don't live by an airport and there's a chopper really low.
And stuff. That's demons. That's when you get to talking. Ain't no such thing as being schizo. Them demons. You hearing voices, you are hearing demons.
Well,
ain't nobody
I do live by a military base, so that was a military chopper.
else talking to you. You know what I'm saying?
But it's no airport.
That stuff is very spiritual. You know, that's stuff you can't see. How can you diagnose somebody with being a schizo? You know? You can't test the blood and tell that you schizo. You know what I'm saying? That's spiritual stuff
right. Because I just said this in the beginning of this live that these symptoms that they are now calling symptoms of schizophrenia and symptoms of bipolar was classified as possession. Think about what I'm saying. All of these symptoms were classified as having a possession, a evil possession.
Deep topic, y'all. Very deep topic. I thought that was a must for us to talk about and dig into the psyche of what's been going on behind the scenes with Gucci and his wife, Keisha. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Yeah, y'all definitely go watch some of that interview. Like I said, watch the
So
first one.
y'all, the interview he telling y'all to go watch. I think it was by the Breakfast Club. I'm not sure y'all, but y'all go ahead and check it out. So I'm gonna say this real quick, cause I know they gonna come hard at me. They gonna come harder at people that speaking on this topic. So let me give them a message to the brotherhood. Y'all clip this part and share it so that they more of the brotherhood can hear it. So look, it's one thing to have power over somebody, but it's another to have that power boomerang back to you. So understand that when you do all of this stuff to people, it affects you. First of all, it affects not only affects you, it affects your ancestors that lived through this, but especially the ones who created this. So those ones that you follow behind and try to live out just like a person. I seen this video. We're gonna listen to this next because this coincide with what I'm talking about and the fact that YouTube put it in my feeds last night. So we're gonna listen to this and the fact that this lady lives in this town. Shout out to you. And she's been investigating the brotherhood. She said a little bit in her video. So let me make sure I find it. The thing is, you you stop somebody in their journey. You prevent a person from getting the energies that their spirit is aligned to. This is deeper than whatever you think you could do. This follows you. It traps your ancestors in a way. That's why I said most of your ancestors are praying that you change because they're stuck in the rim. Imagine your this for the brotherhood. Imagine your your favorite one too, your favorite ancestor, whether it be your great grandfather, your great grandma, who's a part of this organization. Imagine them being stuck in the rim, and you have the token to freedom. You have the free will to live better and change things that got them trapped to begin with, but you ignore it because you continue to want to abuse the power because most of the things they taught you, you guys you guys took advantage of it in a way that you did things that they never wanted to happen. And this is why a lot of these spirits are making sure that this is exposed because this first of all, this is how they're able to transcend. This is why most of your ancestors imagine to the people who are racist or to the people who don't like a certain gender or a certain person, imagine your favorite, that favorite one that I spoke about, the ancestor that you love so much. Imagine them helping the people that you're messing with because now they don't have free will no more. They're in a realm to where they're seeing the bad choices they made and they're trying to correct it, and at the same time trying to help you. So they may let you get a beating from the back, just like we give each other beatings. They may let you take a beating from one of us because now it's all about changing you. So imagine, see, a lot of these people are being haunted. And this is the truth. A lot of these people don't realize the reason they're being haunted because they're in the energy of someone being affected by some things that their ancestors did and they want to change it. And they don't, and that's what I'm trying to get to is like your ancestors could be in the room helping me, could be helping the other people that you sabotage because it's all about making correcting their wrongs. So
How did I not know about this?
So this lady speaker, this video was in my feed, y'all, and this lady talking about the town that I'm in, right? And this lady, and it's okay for me to tell y'all because my address has been leaked. This for future references because they try to put it as if I exposed my location. So there's a military young lady that I ended up meeting at work at a job that I went to jail at, y'all, because this young lady called right while I was going through this when they took my kids from me. She called and said I stole their bags. The same lady told me her son was finna be a part of the Air Force, right? I'm giving hints. This young lady posted my address on TikTok, Facebook, everywhere, y'all, and they didn't do nothing about it. So it's okay. That was just a disclaimer. So this lady in this video is talking about this town that I'm in being really big on Freemasons. And she said there's a symbols. What she noticed is that there's symbolism of the Brotherhood organization everywhere in this town. You're gonna hear her say it. Here we go.
Most of my childhood in Rome, Georgia. How the hell did I not about this. Maybe this is what happens when you live your life with.
My ancestors wanted me to see this because the person she's talking about in this video, I am fucking related to. She gave me this video, me seeing this confirmed so many things. So I'm gonna say it on this video about Nicki Minaj being targeted. So let's clarify everything we spoke about and let's give proof on the organization existing.
One foot in a town and the other foot out of the town, which is.
And we're reacting to
Pretty much how I
historic
spent my
Atlanta
childhood was like
on
halfway in
YouTube.
Rome and halfway not in Rome. So, maybe that was it. I don't know. Anyway, welcome to Esoteric Atlanta. My name is Bryce. Today we're going to be talking about two of the hills of Rome, Georgia.
So, quick shout out to this young lady that made this video. Maybe your ancestors are using you, and I just gave an example before I clicked on your video. Sometimes they may use you to correct things that they made, that they did to correct the things they did so they could transcend. So now you've being awarded by your ancestors because it kind of confirmed a lot for me, boo. So continue with your journey and investigating, because she did say in this video that she investigate things and she certain things she don't like to touch base on, but this is the one you need to touch base on.
Myrtle Hill and Jackson Hill.
She mentioned her ancestors having a plot, a grave in front of a club. She's gonna say it in this video, and her ancestors made them put their plaques in front of the door so that they can their theory was so that they could see how the organization started and how it finishes. So this is the finish line.
$5 a day, invest it for 1 year, and you can have $1,900. $5 a day.
Here's the thing. I am filming this video on the same day as the last video, even though they're being released on different days. So yes, I have the same shirt on because in reality,
let's skip a little bit.
He was so fascinated with Myrtle Hill because there was so much symbolism on one of the graves of like the Freemasons and other types of symbols that he was familiar with. He is very fascinated himself by Rome because he sees a lot of these symbols in Rome. And so I have
So what I just said, I skipped right to the part. Her husband is infatuated with symbolism. Not saying that they're a part of it, but definitely they're inherited because she mentioned her ancestors being a part of it. But what she's saying is that this town is heavily controlled by the Freemasons.
Yeah, that I was going to do a video just on Myrtle Hill, and I was going to talk about.
And I told people that this town is dark. This video gave me confirmation.
There are some hauntings on Myrtle Hill, kind of like our Oakland Cemetery. However, my research led me in a bit of a different direction. My research pushed me into.
Now y'all keep following this into the police. That's all passing by. So look, I got another video I was working on about 4 months ago, y'all, and I'm about to move. I'm gonna post it when I leave because I really took video of the area that I stay in, and I am going. This gonna blow your mind. So listen to this. This gonna blow your mind as to why they moved me right here, because I didn't pick this place.
Jackson.
The people that's trying to put me out put me right here, and it confirms that their organization is in alliance with the Brotherhood.
Hill.
Because
in response,
these people that this lady finna talk about, I'm related to them.
Myrtle Hill. And Myrtle Hill, like Clock Tower Hill, as we said in that episode, there are 7 hills in Rome, Georgia. That's where the name Rome came from, because of the 7 hills of Rome, Italy. And we know that Clock Tower Hill is one of them. Well, Myrtle Hill is another one, and Jackson Hill is also another. So it's 3 of the hills in Rome. And I had no freaking clue about Jackson Hill. In fact, while I was researching, one of my talents in life is directions. I'm really good at directions. I can always find my way back. I know where things are. I'm just really good at that. It's one of the things that I'm good at. So I'll take it. And when I was reading about Jackson Hill, I was like, where the hell is this? And I was looking at the map. I think I know where it is now. But legitimately mind blown. Had no idea that what was at Jackson Hill is at Jackson Hill. And I don't even know if some of.
Did I tell y'all that they've been having, and I respect this guy, but it makes sense with all of the other stuff that literally certain celebrities have been following me in this town, and Ray J being one of them. Shout out to Ray J because we all supposed to bless each other.
Trails on
I just
Jacksonville were
throw a little
there
hint in
when
there
I was a kid because
because
if they
I
were,
actually got
I
video
mean,
of
I
this
would have
guy
loved that as a
following
kid,
me.
but I just mind blown. Like seriously,
But see, I believe, and the only reason I'm mentioning him because he ain't did nothing to me. See, I won't never mention people that I have nothing good to say about. Notice that, y'all. But I'm only saying this because I think he's watching my videos too. Understand that they using you, babe.
is blown over Jackson
I believe
Hill.
they told him
But
something
here's what
different.
got me on putting the
They
two of
told him
these,
something
Myrtle
different.
Hill and Jackson Hill together. Both of these
And it's funny that I seen him trolling Nicki. They sent him to Nicki.
hills were used in the Civil War heavily. I'm not going to focus too much. I'm going to talk about it a little bit. But honestly, we've talked about the Civil War so much in a lot of our other videos, and I love history. History is one of my favorite subjects. However,
I gotta let y'all hear this lady because it confirmed to the people that's been following me and listening to everything I've been saying about this town targeting me. This lady is gonna confirm everything I said. You just heard her say that there's symbolism here everywhere about Freemasons like no other town she's ever saw.
Really someone that enjoys studying battles, and my mind kind of, it's like the peanuts that whenever I have to read about battles I lose focus. And anyway, but the
And
quote
this
that
would
got
explain why they sent Trump an invite to come here right around the town they was campaigning me and doing so many crazy things. This is how I knew this wasn't Trump. This was them. Because something that I said in one of these videos of them kidnapping me and my kids, and I said I feel like Trump. So they invited him here to mock me.
was, I read it said Myrtle Hill makes you
Literally,
respect
he was on my block just about. Like where they had him. They had this guy staying at a hotel right by where I stay.
the dead.
That
While
when I left my house and drove out, it was blocked off. And everybody, all the agents were saying, "Oh, Trump's in town." Like literally.
Jackson Hill makes you fear it.
They want me to fear. And this is why I said a while back that they're campaigning fearmonger amongst Trump. They want people to fear him. But this guy is the total opposite of what's being campaigned about him.
I was like, hook, line, and sinker. I'm sold.
They showed me
so
this.
starting off with Myrtle Hill. Myrtle Hill is, as I said, a cemetery. Again, my
Again, I'm gonna keep stopping because I gotta clarify. It's the reason I'm saying this because of the stuff I noticed. This girl who did something to me, who's allegedly a daughter of an Eastern Star that was married to a well-known Freemason here that passed away. Right, this girl takes me on a trip, and we're supposed to be going gem mining. Right, this was the initial date that we was doing. As you know, we were supposed to go gem mining together, you know, picking stones. And she makes a quick stop out of nowhere and say, "Hey, I know what you can record on your YouTube channel." Because at this point she's found me online. I never told her I did YouTube, but it stuck out to me. And we're at a cemetery, this same cemetery this lady talking about right here, that one of my ancestors is buried at.
parents are buried on Myrtle Hill as well as my uncle. Now, Myrtle Hill is
The
also
angels
right
is clarifying.
across or catty cornered from the Coosa Country Club, which is the country club I grew up going to as a child. And funny story, I just heard this past Christmas. My grandparents are buried right in front of the entrance of the Coosa Country Club. And apparently they picked that plot so that they, from death, would be able to see the comings and goings of the country club.
No weapon form
so I guess that tells you how fun my grandparents
that also tells that your grandparents them did a ritual.
were. And I'm serious, apparently they threw some pretty fun parties.
That could be attached
I was a child
spiritually.
when they died. But anyway, Myrtle Hill is located at where the Etowah and the Oostenaula River meet, and it's on south of Broad Street. Again, Broad Street.
It sounds like it was a ritual. Let's correct what I said.
Beautiful part of the city, especially if you go to the top of Myrtle Hill, like our clock tower. You
And
can
see,
kind of
let's get real deep on this type of stuff. The Brotherhood like to do rituals and stuff. They like to mimic what they thought they saw those tribal people doing when they did certain things that you doing it the wrong way. These are attachments now to attach to your aura because it's all about you. So continue doing that shit.
see out over the skyscraper, the city line. There's really no skyscrapers in Rome, but you can see
And they
the
wonder
town, the
why they
city
seeing
line.
paranormal
It's
activity.
32 acres, and it consists of 6 different terraces. And it was described almost like a wedding cake. They've kind of built it so there's different. It's like compartmentalized. It is a natural hill, but they've made the architect so there are layers to it. Nowadays, you can pull your car in and drive
Y'all
around.
be on the lookout for that video. I'm gonna post it as soon as I move to show you these similarities in what they did to me and my family, y'all. And the reason they moved me in this area that I am in is gonna blow your mind.
All the way to the top. Although I would suggest taking a hike, and the hill is actually a lot
So that agent that I spoke of is now moving the trash can
bigger than you think it is
right
when you
behind me.
first see Myrtle Hill.
And
But
don't even stay nowhere
yeah, I
right
would
here.
definitely suggest instead of driving up the hill, unless you're elderly or have some health issues, I would definitely suggest walking it. Now, both Myrtle Hill and Jackson Hill played major parts in the Civil War. They were both forts in the Civil War, and they are listed on the National Registry of Historic Places. Now, Myrtle Hill was a battle site long before the Civil War when there was Western or white man coming in and looking for gold. There was a huge gold rush into Northwest Georgia, and so there were some battles between the Cherokee Nation and the Creek Nation that lived in this area when the settlers.
I understand. I kept telling people this started about land, man. This started about land, and people are missing it.
Started to approach. Now, the
I chewed on this. Now my hair is growing back thicker and fuller. My balding dad looks like he's growing.
Myrtle Hill became a cemetery in 1850.
If
So
we
not long.
understand where it derived from, then we'll understand how to demolish it as a whole instead of sections of it, like a
After
RICO
the city
trial.
of Rome was established as a city. And it was picked, the name Myrtle was picked.
And this is why it's so important to get people like me locked up. This is why it's so important. I inherited these things from my ancestor that I really don't care to see. The thing is, they know that most people will try to claim things, and I don't really. All money ain't good money. It's just like suing somebody. I want the brotherhood to know I don't care. You can have what your ancestors took. You can keep that karma that's tied to you and their lineage, their entire lineage. It's okay. Some people like me don't care to bother those type of things. We let the angels take care of whatever needs to be done. See, the thing is, they they understand that they lawfully have to return things to people, and they want to make sure, just like the $5 Indians, y'all, when they literally, because first of all, we was mixed breeded for a reason, because they wanted to hold title to certain things. Most of these military, this guy that I researched about last night, I realized that he literally befriended my ancestor for a darker reason. He made her think that he was in love with her, and this is still happening today. His whole goal was so that he can inherit her land, y'all, and it's continuing to happen. Just now, what you seeing is royalties being taken. You seeing, things that people own legally are being taken, stolen from them. This is still happening. People are missing it though.
Because of all the myrtle flowers that grew wild on the hill. Now, funnily enough, myrtle means flower of death. So there you go. The first grave was a man named John Billups, and
I
he
like
died
this
in
lady.
1857. And funny, during the Civil War, so again, Myrtle Hill was used as a fort during the Civil War, and his headstone apparently was blown off by a musket ball during the war. Because as we talked about in our clock tower video, Rome did fall to the Union soldiers during the Civil War. And Myrtle Hill and Jackson Hill are both kind of on two opposite ends of all these rivers. And again, the rivers were really, really, really important to commerce and to travel during this time in our history. Now, a lot like our Oakland Cemetery here in Atlanta, Myrtle Hill acts as like a who's who of Rome, Georgia.
So y'all keep listening to it because she gonna start speaking about the ancestor that I told you about.
Nowadays. And so a lot of the tours that they give,
and I'm gonna stop right there to explain why that is so important.
They'll go around and show you who a lot of these people were and their participation and their part in building up the city of Rome. Now, at the very top of the Myrtle Hill is the Confederate Monument. It's a long name. It's the Monument of the Confederate Dead of Rome in Floyd County in the Civil War. This is the crown point, the total top of the hill. I've been up there a couple of times myself, and it is a beautiful view, and you can see this monument that was built in honor of everybody from the area who lost their lives during the American Civil War. There is also a Confederate cemetery down at the base of Myrtle Hill, and they have 360.
I could never. Speaking of this little space she's talking about, to brotherhood, every time I ride past this, since my opinion matter, every time I ride past this little spot, I'm itchy thinking about it. I get so itchy and I get this weird dark feeling, y'all, every time I ride past this. Maybe since you guys like to call the priest, they need to pray over the spirits that's roaming around that area,
Confederate and Union soldiers
the
buried
lost
there.
spirits that's
75 are
angry,
unknown Confederate
feels like.
soldiers, while they have 3 unknown Union soldiers. There's also a veteran.
Those soldiers in that area is stuck in that area right there, y'all. This is for the brotherhood who like to do rituals. So you got a plot that's made for you there. You're gonna be amongst those other soldiers that's angry.
Plaza. It's a brick site location on south of Broad Street, and this is where we have American.
They're captured there in a way. This is my opinion, y'all. They captured there in a way because guess what? You have to face those spirits again. This is the scary part, y'all. But I'm not here to scare y'all like fearmonger tactic that the brotherhood use. This is for you though. When you cross over now, you gotta, God appoints us at some point. This is my opinion. When you sabotage somebody, now you stoop low on your knee up to that person now. So now it's like you're being captured in a way by those spirits that you once captured. That's not the way to go.
Soldier, and this is a pretty big deal for Rome. I remember learning about this as a kid. It's a man named.
Imagine a poor person like me evolving in the next room and you have to answer to me just because of the things you did to me.
Graves, and he died in World War One, and for some reason they picked to bury him.
And for some reason, this is the feeling I'm getting, the feeling my ancestors want me to see.
In Rome, and it's a huge monument to the America's known soldier. Because believe it or not, boys and girls.
And this is for the brotherhood, boys and girls, the whole video.
There was a time in our history where the military were respected.
Hello, everyone. I have something pretty embarrassing to admit. I've been ruthlessly.
I read energy, and I really feel like she kind of threw shade because most people are angry that people are forced to go out and have war, y'all. Because I feel like, this is my opinion, we don't really have to do this. Maybe I'm going too hard. I feel like if we move better, live better, and are better for each other, we would never have to have war. I feel like these foreign countries actually look up to us, or if they did, they don't now, they did at one point, because America, the land of the free, this is where all the resources were. This is where it was being advertised, even without teleprompters and telescopes and man-made handhelds to set off messages. The land was sacred. Everybody knew this. So it was a place where everyone was welcome. Now we made it to where it's controlled now. This was the lady that she's going to talk about, and there's someone else that I looked up. Damn, what was her name? Nancy Ward. I've realized that I'm related to Nancy Ward. This lady is in the spiritual realm, and she's angry with them because they knocked her off of her mission. They used her. She feels angry. This is a message to the brotherhood. They used her and then mocked her. They had this guy come in and marry her own granddaughter and tricked her. This is who I was talking about. He befriended her when his whole goal was to go against everything her grandmother spoke of.
Military. My boyfriend comes from a military family.
And then the family decided to continue to donate the land when this lady was emphasizing the fact that there was no there's no way that the land should be sold. There's no way that these people should be knocked off the globe. There's no way that these people's lives should be jeopardized. And that's exactly what happened. There was a big war right after the lady passed.
Lot for us to be able to remain free, and especially with what's going on right now, we've had many conversations about what
So y'all do me a favor and research Nancy Ward, because her demise needs to be investigated.
happen if the government were to force the military to try to control us. And the beautiful thing about the United States military is that we are still a very young country, and a lot of our men and women who join the military are extremely patriotic.
I get what she's trying to say, because now a lot of people are enlightened now, and I believe a lot of people that are amongst the military, they see these things happening, and even if they speak of it or not, they see certain situations like, I don't like this. They've evolved in that thought process to where if there was an incident to where the military is in control of everything, you're gonna have a lot of people that's gonna say, nah, go ahead, you go through here. We not, because we're gonna start standing up together. But it start right here, of knowing this is happening and acknowledging it instead of sweeping it up under the rug. Because this alliance, my bad, this alliance is now forming up, because they end up at a peak of being exposed even more than they are, because this is known worldwide already. There's people higher up in Supreme Courts that have known this for years. But see, look, this alliance was given time, and I said this in one of my videos before. This alliance was given time to prove that the software and the experiment that they're experimenting on citizens, what they want, they're given a chance to prove that it causes, that they have some type of plan to end crimes, to end. But see, it's far-fetched, it's a plot twist to it, but this was their opportunity to prove the good in the program so that it can carry on. But see, look, the plot twist is that the crimes and everything that's happening is created because this happened, and this is going over people's head. The fact that people are up in the uproar because of the way we have to live, because the things that we used to do, we're no longer able to do. This lady Nancy Ward, the movement she stood for, she was trying to prevent all of this from happening. She knew that people would go into a frantic. She knew that people would start scavenging.
Both of my boyfriend
It's getting too deep.
I don't think the military here would be able to ever attack the citizens that they have vowed to protect. And I do like the fact that there are these monuments dedicated to militaries past and present, because that's.
And a quick disclaimer, I salute anybody that ever served for the country, because this is a huge task. The fact that, like, I'm also against war, y'all, because I feel like it's useless. But I do agree with protecting what you have to protect, like our ancestors had to protect their territory, and it's the same way the military acts. So I do get that. But the fact that this would have never happened if we wouldn't have started to demand people's territory. This is the reason the foreign countries, this is how I feel. This is why the foreign countries started to align the way they did, because they saw how America, the land of the free, was stripped away from the descendants, and some of those descendants got to know most of these people that were affected. Just like we got Asians, you got Spaniards, you got people from Venezuela, you got all of these people that got to know most of these tribe members. They got to know, if they didn't know them personally, they knew of and they saluted their practices and their way of living. And they saw how those people were sabotaged, and in their minds they carried on this story that their ancestors passed on, those Pole Cherokees. These people are at an uproar, and they see it, and this is the only reason why we are in fear, because we know this too. Okay.
Super important. We do need to to respect our military. We wouldn't be here without our military. So that's a very
Yeah, let's just say this. I'm gonna pause this for a second. Imagine this. We imagine other foreign countries protecting you, because that's something. Sometimes I see that too. Imagine, because some things they know, some see, look, a lot of these places don't operate like we do, and this is where Trump needed to come in, right? I believe also, let's just say this, I believe his whole movement was saying let's make America great again is because there was a point in time where America was great. This was, people think he's meaning slavery. No, because it was at one point this was the land of the free, because our ancestors gave it that title. We opened arms, welcomed everyone in, and they took advantage of these tribes. That, y'all, this it gets deep, because a lot of their descendants are being targeted for this main reason, and this is why I come in.
Cliff Notes version of Myrtle Hill, the who's who of Rome, Georgia. So now let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to Jackson Hill. And Jackson Hill is feared because it's super haunted.
Listen.
And I'm going to focus on one of the ghosts, and that's the ghost of a young woman named Nancy. Now, I talked about Chieftain's Museum in our Clock Tower video, and
so
I said,
this is the young lady that I spoke about that I'm related to, and I didn't find out until months after that girl took me to Chieftain Museum and took me to that cemetery and took me on all these field trips, and I never caught on to why she was taking me to these places, and there was a message in it. The digging came from the gold, because I heard stories from my ancestors. You know, I spoke to my grandma who was enlightened about her ancestors of them planting up when they was getting evacuated, and when colonizers came before the evacuation, that they buried gold. And it's a lot of places like this town right here where they buried gold at, and this was the main reason why they captured it. So this lady that she's talking about had some relations with the Chieftain Museum. When I went there, y'all, I remember having a little some nice gesture of paranormal activity where I missed it, because like I said, I didn't research this till after and realize I was related to most of the people in there. That stuff was falling. Like, I remember at one point this love song, I wish I could remember the song that was playing. We sung it the whole day after that. But this little thing that they had in the Chieftain Museum, y'all, started playing, and this lady said something that stood out after that thing. We haven't got that to play in so long, and it's weird that it played, and what was playing was, oh man, I don't even know how to say it. And when we go around to the other side, certain factual things fell. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't realize until after, like, oh my God, I know why that fell. And it's like, yes, these places are being haunted. And whatever spirit that was in communication with all of us in the tour, because I wasn't the only one that was there that saw that, it was telling us, hey, this happened to us. Hey, this can't keep happening to us. Or, as I thought, was warning me of what's happening to me, y'all. So that should be enough for the brotherhood to understand. You may be able to take me out, but you can't take my spirit out, because you couldn't take my ancestors' spirit out. They're still here.
maybe one day we get to it, but lo and behold, ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, knock and the door
Here
shall
you
be
go.
open unto you. Here we go, Chieftain's Museum, or the house that is now Chieftain's Museum.
The house that I went to that people are saying is haunted. Let me tell you, the haunted that I got was totally different. And to hear what these people said, it makes me think like, hey, well, if you got a bad paranormal experience from that, because I totally didn't get that, it was a warning to you.
Huge part in Nancy, our ghost of Jackson Hill. Now, even though we are only going to talk about Nancy's day and her being and why she haunts Jackson Hill, I do have to note that according
when
to
I saw this video, it made so much sense. And it made me feel, I gotta say this, it made me feel so much better knowing that My ancestors is seeing this shit. See, look, it's one thing to have man in this realm see it and justify you. It's even better when the angels can justify you.
This is legitimately the most haunted place in Rome. And Rome has got some pretty haunted places, so that's...
And I think to myself, maybe that's why she took me there, to see my experience, because they are, all of this is a social experiment, to see my experience in that haunted house, and it was totally opposite.
Lot. But let's back up again and
Let's
let's
back up.
connect the dots. If you remember back from my clock tower episode where I talked about the clock tower of Rome, Georgia, we talked about its origins. It was a water tank after the Civil War to help replenish water to the citizens of Rome. And then after a while, it ceased to be the water tank because they built a reservoir on top of Jackson Hill. So this is the same Jackson Hill. Dots are connecting. It's all connected. So here we go. Now we're going to talk about...
If you're getting spam texts like these or spam phone calls like these, then it's highly likely that your data has been breached. There's a
Jackson Hill. So for
Speaking
today,
of spam calls, I don't get no calls. Most of my calls are spam calls. I just ignored one 2 seconds ago,
Jackson Hill
and
is
I
a
got that ad. It showed you how evolved technology is.
Civic Center Drive in Rome, Georgia. And if you're visiting Jackson Hill today, you've got this labyrinth of Rome. And for those
So this little thing that gives me the creeps is this. It's like a maze type of circle where they did a ritual, and this is probably where the large guys go to do the rituals, y'all. So if you ever want to come to this town, make sure you go check it out. But if you not into stuff like that, please don't go there, because I could never go here, y'all. I can never go here.
a labyrinth is, it's like this maze that you walk. And it was created by a man named Ed Baker, and he made it for meditation. Walking a labyrinth for meditation is a lot like the method of meditation that I do with my yoga practice.
That's
so a lot of
confirmation.
people think that yoga is the postures or the asanas you see all over the world today, and that's only a small part of what yoga is. Yoga is basically to find focus and to kind of center the mind. That's the form of meditation. And when you're walking a labyrinth, you're able to give your mind something to do to find that focus. Same with an asana
Okay,
practice.
so I'll give my feedback, since everything's a social experiment nowadays. So I could never go to that place. I would get a really bad headache, and even if I ride past the place, I don't even, because this girl tried to get us to go that day, and I kept telling her it was time for us to go. I didn't even get to really go deep into that until I looked it up online after I left her and realized what she was trying to take me up to. But I could not go to this place, and now to this day, if I ride past there, I get that lightheaded feeling like I have to throw up.
You're using a Tristana method, the way to get your mind to kind of find a one-pointed focus. So I really respect the fact that this man created this labyrinth for the people of Rome to partake in some active meditation. Now, when you get into the parking lot of Jackson Hill, there is a gift shop. So if anybody's visiting for the day and you want a chachi or a t-shirt or something from Rome, then this obviously is a really good place to go to get that. And the gift shop is the start of several trails that...
See, the cops that's riding by don't realize that they're showing that they're showing me, first of all, not talk about the investigators that's watching them, but they showing me that they intimidated by what I'm saying.
Lead up to the reservoir, and the pictures
Because
of these
regular cops that's here to protect and serve, they're not worried about what I'm saying on my live.
trails look beautiful. Apparently, it's a 1.3 mile loop, so doesn't seem to be that challenging, and it's 50 acres, and it goes all the way around Reservoir Street and Dogwood Drive. Now, on this trail, especially for you guys who are like me and you are history lovers, you're gonna pass Boswell Cabin, which is right at the trailhead, and they have a cotton gin.
Okay, so
There's
she replied to my comment. Let me read what I had wrote on her video in case y'all go check this out. I put, since I'm related to her, because we haven't got to this part yet, and I just can't wait since they keep passing by like this. Since I'm related to her by bloodline and I read energy well, she's not lost, because she said something about Nancy Ward being lost. Or I think she just said that. She's not lost. She's angry that the land was still stolen after because her efforts, right? She feels betrayed. Spirits never dye, and because of that, she roams around as if her mission was stolen. Powerful spirits like her aren't satisfied until peace is made. Allegedly, it gets worse spiritually if we ignore its effects. We have changed so much, and so many cultures are lost because of this moment in life, and it has to change in order for those beings to transcend, or they attach themselves to you for an eternity. I live here and finally figured out why they target me, and I wanted the and hold up. I live here in Rome and finally figured out why they target me. And I wanted one of my ancestors' best dreams because I think that I have the opportunity and charm to persuade peace and action towards fulfilling the lost treaties and allowing their descendants at finding their way back to their roots is universal, and anything forbidden it becomes haunted. This topic needs to be studied. And she said, I would encourage you to look into Tartaria. So I'm gonna research Tartaria, but let's continue to look at that. I'm gonna read whatever that means, y'all, because I just saw that comment earlier.
Detail about the battles. If that's something, if you live in the area and that's something that you're really interested in, you can go ahead and take the trails and read all the markers. Or if you can't leave your house because you're quarantined like we are, then you can look online. They have all the markers up, or you can read about the different battles and what Jackson Hill was used for. So Nancy, the ghost, or one of the ghosts.
Since she's gonna start talking about Nancy again, I found it's Tartaria, historical region. For centuries, Tartaria was a blanket term used by Europeans to describe a vast, little-known area of Asia bounded by the Capism, Capisium, Capacium. Hold up, Casapian. Oh, bounded by the Caspian Sea, Ural Mountains, and Pacific Ocean. This region was primarily inhabited by nomadic peoples, including Tartaric or Tarkic groups like the Tartars, who, along with the Mongols, once formed a vast empire under Genghis Khan. European maps and literature divided this territory into areas like Muscovite territory, Chinese territory, Tartary, and independent Tartary. As European knowledge of Asia was increased, the use of the term Tartaria faded, and the region was eventually absorbed into the Russian, Chinese, and other empires. From Russia with Love. That's where that come from. Then I was getting that from Russia with Love a lot. The Tartarian Empire conspiracy theory. Modern conspiracy theories purpose that Tartary was not just a geographical destination, but a vast, advanced, and now lost civilization with global reach. Proponents claim that its history was deliberately erased following a catastrophic mud flood. The key claims of the conspiracy include erased history. The existence of the empire was supposedly suppressed by world governments and historians as part of a great reset to establish a new order. The mud flood, a major catalysm or catalytic a catalysm cataclysm often described as a global flood of mud allegedly wiped out most of the empire. Believers cite features like partially buried buildings as evidence. Tartarian agriculture. Conspiracy theorists claim that many historically significant buildings worldwide, including the White House, U.S. Capitol, and the Taj Mahal, and ornate ornate gilded age structures were actually built by the advanced Tartarian civilization. They argue that these impressive structures could not have been created by the societies credited with building them. The hidden technology, some believers assert that the Tartarians had advanced free energy technology that was incorporated into their agriculture. Origins debunking and debunking. The Tartarian Empire conspiracy theory is considered what is it? Pedo uh 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 damn, I can't even hmm, see y'all, my brain won't let me move past stuff unless I understand it. What's my mind is blank. The Tartarian Empire conspiracy theory is considered hmm I can't move past it, so let me see. You son of a bitch. I hate when they don't let me hear it. Form of attempts to distort or misinterpret a historical record, often by employing methods resembling those used in scholarly historical research. The related term is applied in superstitions, occultism, or usage of terms may occasionally overlap. Predecessor history. I still don't know what this word means. Okay, hold on. Let me get my other phone. Okay, so here we attempts to distort or misinterpret. Misinterpret. So the Tartarian Empire conspiracy theory is considered to misinterpret factual evidence. It originated from 20th century Russian nationalism with Russian occultist Nikolai Levasov 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 being a key popularizer. Historians and cartographic experts have found no evidence of a unified Tartarian empire. I gotta read over. Historians and cartographic experts have found no evidence of unified Tartarian empire. The term Tartary was simply a loose European label for Central Asia. The Russian Geographical Society has publicly debunked the theory, calling it an extremist fantasy. Archaeology and historical records for buildings that proponents call Tartarian do not support any claims. Today the conspiracy theory spreads primarily through social media platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Reddit, meaning it doesn't exist. So hold up. The Tartarian Empire, a 1700 map of Asia dividing Great Tartaria into Muscovite territory, Chinese territory, and independent Central Asia, Siberia conspiracy. I don't like conspiracy theories assert that the Tartari or the Tartarian Empire was a lost civilization. I think I want to pull this up now. Okay, pretty girl. I gotta get off this and go. I'll come back to it. So let's get into this now, because she's calling me a Tartarian native or descendant. Found, not built. Great Tartarian Empire.
A peace plan for Gaza. For the plan to advance, Hamas must disarm. Instead,
tonight, terrifying images emerging from Gaza. Videos show Hamas-linked gunmen carrying out a public execution as they return to the streets.
Hamas on a rampage, executing Palestinians. Bloody crackdown, spreading terror.
Okay, let's take a detour. I was told to free all 20 hostages.
Really want to make a deal. I think they want to die.
That was President Trump reacting to the collapse.
So reacting to Israel 365, I took a detour to the because I got that ad.
Of the negotiations for a hostage release ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas, and reportedly they fell apart because Hamas is now going back on certain details of the negotiations that were already agreed upon just before the two sides were close to making a deal. Now, in this video, we are going to get into what Hamas's actual strategy is, and it's a smart strategy, so stay through to the end of the video. Now, here is Tamir Morag, chief political correspondent for Channel 14 cable news in Israel, reporting on one of those details that Hamas is changing.
בין היתר, חמאס דורש מישראל לפרק לחלוטין על מנת להאכיל את תושבי הרצועה.
So Hamas is demanding that the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, that's the American organization that is working with the Israelis, distributing at this point over 2 million meals.
Okay, so I already get the point. So I just said this. Imagine that these foreign countries that witness these things, because their organizations don't work like us. Even everywhere in the world, there's corruption, but they don't operate like us. So imagine these people are helping civilians, and we're spreading fear monger for us to fear them so that we can go to war with them. So back to my plan of thought of what I was trying to research. This lady told me to look up Tartarian Empire, and I had never heard of the Tartarian Empire. It's a lot going on right now. So, forgotten history of Tartaria, ancient empire, appearing and hearing. Mystery of forgotten Tartarian empire.
What if I told you that everything you thought you knew about history?
Okay, let's see. For one thing, the millennial reading has not happened. So a lot of people saying this is not a true. I'm not gonna listen to this video. Let's see. Sorry, before I get deep into it.
Can you believe it?
Okay, 1800s Great Reset, rewritten history. This is go along with what her message was. So let's 1800s Great Reset, rewritten history, the Tartarian Empire, full theory explained. And it's by
after centuries of deception, we
Joshua
finally figured out that our mainstream
and
history is a
Sapin
lie, and that much of our past is actually hidden from us. In our lifetime, we figured out the pyramids of Giza were actually power plants, that there's a hidden chamber underneath the Sphinx, and that Göbekli Tepe predates civilization over 12,000 years. But it wasn't until recently that
was the Tartarians the Egyptians?
Discovered something even more mind-blowing than any of that. What we discovered is that global cataclysms happen all the time, and that our last one may have been as recent as 200 years ago, right around the time of the Revolutionary
War. Most of the Africans gods that they call that ruled the Genesis, y'all.
During this period,
this not nothing I said.
Secret societies like the Freemasons and the Papal State.
Wow! And look what's on my video feed. I just said, let's flip this around.
Moved into the buildings left by the previous society, claiming them as their own. They monopolized
look what's the next video.
They controlled school curriculums. They poisoned our drinking water and made every effort to dumb
Hamas down. But the thing about the truth is, no matter how much you try to bury it, in the end, it will always find a way to surface. In this video, we are going to lay out all the evidence, everything to date we can find, to prove the theory of Great Tartaria is a valid historical hypothesis and should be considered more highly by those in the mainstream academic community. The evidence, in my opinion, is all around us, hidden in plain sight, a unified architectural signature somehow spread all across the world.
So I'm gonna be honest, I never heard of this. So this lady just opened my eyes to something, and it like really makes sense.
Or globalization, magnificent basilicas built to last forever in towns.
So this is my theory, y'all. So I'm saying in this live, this is my theory, and this is why they made us go against each other, and they still are. Because the thing is, I believe that because in every tribe, whether it was African tribe or Mexican tribe, because we're all tribes, right? We're all of the same one. I believe that there were certain people that possess certain gifts, y'all. Whether it be just medicine men, whatever it is, they put all of those people together, and this is where the slave trade thing started. This is really what it was really about. It wasn't what we thought it was about, because you could make the people you enslaved here already, you already was enslaving them. You already had the chiefs helping the movement. You can do that here, but it was to mix breed for a specific reason. What the fuck? It's like 3 of them motherfuckers just passed by.
Population of only 500 people, architects that don't exist, building timelines that don't add up, city fires everywhere, all across the U.S.
So let's keep going.
Hot that they were able to melt thousands of brick and stone buildings into piles of rubble and magma, sometimes 2 or 3 times in the same city. We are undoubtedly, in my opinion, living in the ruins of a civilization that had technology beyond our comprehension. And in this video, I am going to do my absolute best to prove it to you. Prepare yourselves for the Tartarian Empire. Full theory explained. Before we begin, shout out to our sponsors on Patreon. You're all
so
awesome.
Again, this is Joshua and Safin on YouTube.
And make this kind of content possible.
Joshua and Safin Krenner.
I'm also on X, formerly known as Twitter, and will be on Rumble very, very soon. I also need to give a shout out, in no particular order, some of the channels that inspired me. These guys are backed up for adoption. Take a look at this newspaper article from the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair, which states, orphans and waifs are taken care of under the roof of the incubator building until they are either adopted or placed into the Bayless ward of an orphan's home. And these orphan babies at the World's Fair were not an independent phenomenon. The orphan trains are another well-documented piece of American history, where hundreds of thousands of orphans were shipped in via train from urban cities to the rural countryside. And at each stop, local townspeople would gather to look at the children and decide which ones they wanted to take home. Did you ever wonder how these farming families in the Midwest got so large? So where are all these orphans coming from? And what happened to their parents? Again, this is where the mainstream narrative starts to fall apart. We are told that the orphan train movement was in response to the increasing number of orphaned, abandoned, and homeless children living in cities due to war and immigration. But this doesn't make any sense. Immigrating to a new country does not make you just suddenly abandon your children. And men die.
Maybe this explains this lady don't understand what she just showed me with one of these documents that I found when I was researching my family. I couldn't understand why there was ancestors that was in a region that we weren't from. Like it was a document showing a marriage somewhere. Damn, I don't want to say the wrong country, and I'm like, why the hell was they way over there? And then you'll see it skip to where they had children in America, or then you'll see it like, y'all, and it wasn't Africa, y'all. Literally, this lady is on to something.
Wars still doesn't explain what happened to the mothers and the rest of the families. So why was there actually such a spike in orphans at the turn of the century, to the point where they were auctioning them off like cattle at fairs and train stops? The Tartarian theory posits that these children were orphaned as the result of a reset, and their parents were either killed, manipulated, or declared mentally insane.
I want to say the place was Egypt, but it's crazy that he just said this, and this is important that we talk about this in his live, because the same tactics that was used then is being used now, they label you as crazy.
While that may sound far-fetched at first, consider all the wars and chaos that was going on in the 17 and 1800s. There were some massive power vacuums created during this time frame, with the Napoleonic Wars going on in Europe and the Civil War going on in the US, to name a few. Is it really so far-fetched to think that history could have been manipulated by the victors of these conflicts, capitalizing on the intense socio-political turmoil caused by these wars? Also consider the fact that insane asylums were popping out of nowhere at the turn of the century. At their peak,
Again, a lot of these issues were being covered up, and that's why labels were created to begin with.
500,000 Americans were admitted to these asylums concurrently. That's over 1% of the total U.S. population at the time. Why were so many people losing their minds all at once? Could it have really been that we went through a reset, and these asylums were made for those who remembered the truth about our past or refused to comply with the new timeline?
Yeah.
It is well cited that individuals were often admitted to these asylums against their wills, and once inside were treated cruelly, subjected to solitary confinement, hypnosis, experimental medications, and in many cases were even forcibly lobotomized. And if you thought all that was crazy, just wait until we get to the next segment. Are you ready to have your mind blown?
The World's Fair cover up. That's what he wrote on his video. The World's.
We're back at the World's Fair, this time St. Louis, 1904. We are told that all these buildings were temporary structures, created hastily in less than a year for these World's Fair events. But what if that's not true, and these buildings were already here in the first place? That is what I believe is the case. You can believe whatever you want.
So this is now the 1900s, after the Trail of Tears. This was after all of the wars. This is 1900. This is now when this software is being used and implemented.
Evidence is right here, plain as day, in my opinion. We had beautiful architecture.
This guy already explained the asylums that were created out of nowhere during this time frame.
It's all over the country. In every state capital, every church, cathedral, and basilica. We had downtown areas that rivaled Rome and Paris. We had immaculate structures from the old world all over the nation. But they didn't fit in with the timeline our controllers wanted to impose. So they destroyed them, replaced their cornerstones, or adjusted their dates of construction to better fit the narrative they sought to establish. They took over the school systems through the Rockefeller initiatives and taught us only the history they wanted us to know. They knew
and this clarifies why Granny would tell me, well, we had to learn how to talk like the Jews. Well, we couldn't wear those. They said our hair didn't look good this way, so we had to learn to do it this way, unifying them. This happened to so many people. And then now you got those people being classified as something that they're not. And this is important that people understand the real reason why people was misclassified.
Embed their narrative in us young enough that we wouldn't question it when we get older, because it would be too mind-shattering to comprehend. But there is an awakening coming. You, the viewer, who are brave enough to consider these ideas and to spread them. The tides will shift. The controllers will inevitably lose their grip. When the time comes, will you be ready to embrace virtue and enlightenment? Here we are again, this time in Chicago, 1893, the Columbian Exposition. We are again told that these buildings were temporary structures and were knocked down shortly after the fair ended. But this is not the case. These structures were here before. This entire downtown area had been around for thousands of years.
So I'm including in this stuff in these videos to prove everything that Nicki Minaj said was true. And if anybody attack her with the mental asylum and it's going to prove everything she said, because this is a tactic that they use.
Glory in old Chicago, and our controllers destroyed it to enrich themselves. And we know that these buildings were
not coming at somebody like her and I will be the wrong thing for them to do, while the lights shining bright on them and everything they do.
Temporary, because some of them still stand today.
And it's going to also justify predated situations that was misclassified.
Buildings were purged.
So we encourage them to make a move.
A new era of deception and control. But why, one might ask, would such a grand past be hidden? Well, it's very simple, actually. He who controls the past controls the future.
I tell you what, because Nicki Minaj have the money, to where if she got the right people behind her, she can help so many people if they do attack her. She could help so many. That's why they try to drain her, but it's gonna go in her favor. This a free read for y'all. It's gonna go in her favor because everything they doing, all they doing is exposing everything she's saying. And I'm happy that she did something different than other people that was sabotaged. She spoke about it. That was the first thing she did that was very important. She spoke about it and wasn't scared to say who, what, when, and how.
By rewriting history, those in power can create a narrative that serves their own interests, one that downplays or erases the achievements of previous eras.
Oh yeah, I know it may backfire on me, and because I'm broke, I may not be able to pay my way. But guess what? I'm more spiritual that I know the angels gonna bless me and they gonna help me. And I don't even need none of the people that's looking out for me, that's watching these people do stuff. They don't even have to do nothing because it's gonna be exposed in a way that they never thought would happen before.
The present seemed more advanced, more enlightened. But this theory is not just about buildings. It's about the very essence of history itself. It's about who gets to write that history and what they choose to include or exclude. It's about understanding that history as we know it is often a story told by the victors, by those who have the power to influence what is remembered, and most importantly, what is forgotten. These structures were built by a previous civilization, and the World's Fair was a cover-up to destroy them.
See, I like that. It's a huge cover up. See, the thing is, it won't be a need to try to control the Kanyes and the people that speak up about this stuff, because if you weren't doing nothing to begin with, they won't have nothing to say whether it's schizophrenia or not. Because even speaking for a schizophrenic person, they won't mention something that they haven't experienced. Just that's how the experiment works. It's based off of experience. So they won't talk about things that they don't know anything about. So that's one thing that they forgot about when they tried to discredit people by saying what they're saying don't make sense. Obviously it do if they talking about it. Just like when Kanye came out and told everybody that people was taking his money and you know what I'm saying, they sacrificed his mom allegedly. There won't be no reason for him to say that. I shouldn't have said that.
To erase our history, withhold technology, and monopolize our world for their own profit. Our eyes are open now. We know now what they did to our past. And in the next segment, we're going to find out what our controllers did to Grand Tartaria.
Thank you, Father, for using me. I don't mind my life being an example. I don't mind them sacrificing me because I invite, and that's where the power come in. And I'm teaching them,
have you ever seen
these brotherhood guys that sacrifice other people, how to do it right. Our forefathers, the real ones, they sacrificed themselves, not other people, because they knew how powerful it is to interject yourself in someone else's energy, and that's something y'all forgot.
These old maps that depict Tartaria on them as the preeminent power of Eurasia and the Middle East. Have you ever seen this book by Henry Kissinger that has Tartaria right on the cover, directly in the center of the main page? What about this declassified CIA document which discusses Tartaria and the manipulation of its history? Can you believe that they tried to erase the history of an entire civilization, one that undoubtedly had significant influence on global society? An entire empire covered up by our controllers. Where was our lesson about Tartaria in grade school? Well, we didn't have one. And that's because the Rockefellers bought out the public school system to teach us only the history they wanted us to know. Tartaria was an empire, and its symbol was a griffin or a wyvern. This is well documented in old posters and photographs. What's more is we see on the Russian imperial flag a griffin or wyvern being stabbed by St. George on a horse, a clear metaphor for the Papal State's victory over Tartaria. Again, you can believe whatever you want to believe, but to me, this is clear evidence that we are being lied to and manipulated. What was the Tartarian Empire, and why did they want to cover it up so badly? This theory posits that the Tartarians possessed a technology that our controllers do not want us to know about. This hidden knowledge, according to some researchers, is deeply embedded into the architectural marvels attributed to Tartaria, particularly in the construction of Old World churches. These structures, built primarily from stone with slate roofs, were not only designed to stand the test of time, but also, it is believed, to harness and utilize unique vibrational energies. One key aspect of this architectural ingenuity lies in the concept of resonance frequencies encoded into the stained glass windows, the pipe organs.
So again, right now, I'm feeling that warm feeling again, y'all. It's because of what I'm talking about. But I'm continuing with the video until I feel like I'm done.
And spires on top of these churches and cathedrals. It is theorized that these builders had an advanced understanding of how sound frequencies could influence both matter and consciousness. Bell towers of these churches, often seen as mere religious symbols, might have played a crucial role in this context. By tuning the bells to specific frequencies, it is speculated that these towers could generate resonant vibrations capable of producing various beneficial effects, ranging from healing to enhancing spiritual experiences. Furthermore, the use of sacred geometry in the design of these structures.
Maybe that's why they like to use numbers a lot. Well, not maybe. That's the reason why they like to use numbers a lot when they performing rituals on people.
Another intriguing element, sacred geometry, a concept found in various ancient
and maybe that's why a lot of not maybe that is why a lot of these people that are experiencing this targeting is are reporting of all of these sound tactics that they use with the horns and a certain street theater that permit certain sound waves to ignite certain reactions from people.
Involves the use of particular geometric proportions and shapes believed to embody a deeper spiritual significance. In the context of Tartarian
it's right here on live. You guys can rewind the live and you'll see an example of that. I was getting a lot of noise campaigns, even with the airplane. The chopper flew by a couple times and I started to get hot and throw up.
These geometric principles could have been applied to align the buildings with cosmic energies or ley lines, thereby magnifying
scattered thoughts,
energetic properties.
Feeling hot,
the durability and longevity of these
and my heart
constructions
racing
are also noteworthy. The choice of materials, stone and slate.
Now, that's important because now with a regular person, you would think that is something other than what it really is when technology is being used.
It's not arbitrary. Stone, with its dense and stable structure, is an excellent medium for conducting and storing vibrational energies. Meanwhile, slate roofs, beyond their practical weather-resistant qualities, might have been chosen for their potential to interact with electromagnetic fields, a concept not fully understood in modern times. In piecing together this puzzle, one cannot help but wonder about...
Speaking of the clock towers, I live right by one.
The true extent of the knowledge possessed by the Tartarians. If indeed these theories hold any truth, the implications are profound. Not only would it mean that our understanding of history is incomplete, but it also points to the existence of a forgotten technology, one that harmonized architectural mastery with the subtle energies of the natural world. The suppression of such knowledge could be seen as an attempt to maintain control over technological narratives and, by extension, over society itself. As we continue to unravel the mysteries of the past, it becomes increasingly clear that history is not always as straightforward as it is presented. The legacy of the Tartarian Empire, shrouded in obscurity and speculation, challenges us to look beyond conventional narratives and consider the possibilities of a lost, advanced civilization.
The Great Fires.
New York, Chicago, San Francisco, Boston, Baltimore, Portland, Atlanta, Seattle, St. Louis, Pittsburgh, Savannah, Charleston, Detroit, Rochester.
So I'll tell the brotherhood what happened when that storm happened, right? When someone ordered, when the storm happened and they expected my house to go up in flames, because I literally, this is not alleged, this is for research purposes only. I was complaining. I was getting the thought to complain to them before I even did it, but I was telling them to cut this tree because there would be news reports of covering up windows if there's debris and stuff like that. So I couldn't figure out why they wouldn't come do it. As a matter of fact, they did it after the storm. But anyways, when the storm happened, that the refrigerator and the stove literally, I say caught fire, but it just went out. But I say that because it sparked, but it didn't actually catch on fire. But let me tell you why it didn't. Because out of nowhere the lights shut off. Like it was a click and everybody lights went out, y'all. Everybody. This was spiritual. So to people who say, oh, I get agents in my comments saying I'm talking to, demonic forces and stuff. I don't know. My ancestors protect me from the ones that you guys experience, because the angels that I'm noticing, you guys, before you take me to a patty cell, the angels that are protecting me, they protect me from stuff like that. They literally made everybody lights go out. Literally, right when I noticed the refrigerator. I noticed the refrigerator first. When I noticed the fucking refrigerator, it's like click off. Nope, won't happen today. So I'm telling the brotherhood, if you wondering, because I know they were all scattered outside my house that day. This is what really happened. Those angels protected us, and that's why we still in the house. That's why this house is still standing. Imagine that happening to so many other people, the Nickies and other people that are a bloodline of these people that were already sabotaged. This is why these people are carrying this torch to throw a light on the program, because it's still affecting good people. That's the problem. It's affecting good people. The angels are watching good people be sabotaged. Yeah, I got tears in my eyes, and I'm not even crying.
Milwaukee, Omaha.
But that's because, like, the feeling that I'm feeling, they running that MK Ultra software right now. For the main goal of them doing it while I'm live is to make my thoughts scattered, so I could sound like I don't know what I'm talking about.
How did every single city across America,
So I could sound like I'm under the influence to discredit anything I'm saying.
To burn to the ground within 1 century? This makes no sense at all. The buildings of this era were mostly made out of stone and steel. Our buildings today are made out of wood and plaster. When is the last?
So I'm real. What I'm doing, I get it. It's called these people going, but see, look, they coming at me hard in my life. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell everybody what's happening. I'm not scared. They done took everything from me. So that's my disclaimer, y'all. So you don't got to tell me in the comments. I know I'm doing this on purpose. I want the world to know what happened to little old me and what happened to my folks and what could happen to you.
Heard of an entire city melting to ashes? What about just an entire neighborhood? I bet you never have, because it simply does not happen. The truth is, these were not accidental fires that destroyed these cities. The cause was not a cow that tipped over a lantern in a barn. This was a deliberate attack. What do you see when you look at these pictures? Do you see the aftermath of a fire or something more? Is there something we are not being told? Well, of course there is. We've been lied to for centuries in order to cover up the truth. Our past was more glorious than anyone ever knew, and it has been kept from us until now. 2024 will mark an age of reawakening.
So to the people watching, you get to get insight back scenes of what the brotherhood get to see when they see me do these. I really do these reaction videos to them to show them how spiritual I am. Since you want to call me demonic, so this is live footage of my angels telling me what's really happening to me. Because notice everything I say, and I say this in all my videos. Notice everything I say, the angels clarify everything I say, because this is a message really to me. And these brotherhood guys that watch my videos, this is the reason they interrupt my videos all the time. This is why when I'm doing videos midway, when I'm trying to record them on my phone, that my phone get hot and shut off, and it results in me going live. They want me to go live so they can disorient my thoughts, so that I could come off as bizarre, as I could come off as delusional, so I can come off as in under the influence, so that people could say, aha, this is why she's acting like that. And the fact that they mimicking, I never had a schizophrenic diagnosis, but the fact that they tried to run that on my daughter, that's literally been diagnosed with autism since she was a baby. Literally, when they took my daughter to jail the day that this young man that they're using to try to get custody of my grandbaby, Mr. Price, this young man literally came on our property when we left room. Let me give you the whole rundown. So they prevented me, kept taking my Medicaid so that I would not go get these scans done that shows that Miss Avant really needs assistance, that Miss Avant should be on SSI, that Miss Avant definitely needs her Medicaid. Miss Avant is definitely living below poverty, so she deserves this, right? these these I finally get to my rheumatologist appointment as I pull in the driveway. Mr. Price is sitting outside my house with his new baby mama here to try to check my daughter and to fight my daughter. And can you believe the officers took my daughter to jail after hearing me tell them that this young man is not welcome at my house? He's here, his license is suspended, that they made him leave his car, let him leave without taking him to jail after what Miss Avant said. Now Mr. Price is now uh talking about taking custody of a baby that he came to the house that day. They locked my daughter up to tell my daughter he was signing over his rights. Get the drift. He came here to tell us that he was signing over his rights, that he's making another baby. Here's my girlfriend. She's pregnant now. Like, to antagonize my daughter. Then, oh, by the way, I'm in fear of my life of this young lady, of talking about my daughter. Literally, they're what I'm telling you is that they're literally fucking with my child now. They're fucking with my daughter now, using the same techniques they used on me. The same technique I'm pretty sure they used on my mom. I'm pretty sure they used on my grandma, from the things that my grandma told me. So I'm getting emotional.
The people of this planet will finally begin to understand what needs to be done in order to restore the world. In order to achieve enlightenment, restore the old world technology.
This is why I talk about, I bring awareness to autism, because the people on the spectrum are being targeted the most. Yeah. And this Tartarian video is making sense.
About a new renaissance, we need to work together to study cymatics, sacred geometry, wireless electricity, and
they felt like these people on the spectrum, just like this video I saw on these twins, that was the parents, the lady was a slave, and when those twins were born, they thought they possessed spiritual power, that it was a spiritual message, and they were cursed and they mistreated these twins. This is the same thing they did when autistic children came about, and this is why they mislabeled them. So this needs to be studied and talked about.
Ask for a cent of profit.
This is why most parents hid their children's abilities and things they witnessed, because they knew that their child would get targeted.
In my life, to the research and rediscovery of the old world technology, and I know that in the end, we will achieve our
They
goal.
felt like these children that had autistic abilities inherited the bloodlines of these first peoples that were wiped out.
We will study the Egyptians, the Tartarians, the ancient Sumerians, and others who have been given the seeds of knowledge in the past, and we will, once again, cast off our chains. Humanity will no longer be held back by controllers who wish to profit at our expense. We will no longer be slaves to a system of deception and greed. We will restore the world to a state of enlightenment and virtue, and we will ascend to heights never before dreamed. The controllers want us to believe that these immaculate structures were built in less than a year in towns with a population under 1,000. These are just a few examples. Find any cathedral in America that was supposedly built in the 1800s. You will find the fire narrative in every single one of them. You will find ridiculous building time frames of oftentimes less than a year. You will find architects and building companies that do not exist, and you will know the truth. But be warned, once you have eyes to see, you will never go back. You will never look at these buildings the same way, and you will realize that you were destined for so much more than what we've been told.
Okay, they got the Freemason brother. Oh, wow. Let's show this in a live.
So much more.
He got the Freemason. This angel messages, y'all. Angel messages. Here we go. Follow me. Don't leave this live, y'all. Star Forks keyholes in the mud flood. I think that's what he just wrote.
Imagine for a moment that you held the keys of knowledge, that you knew how to create unlimited energy, heal the sick without medication, and bring about spiritual awakening in humans.
So, how ironic. So, we just touching base as I listen to this, right? So, how ironic when I make a post, because this was seen on those cameras storage unit when I was sleeping in my car, y'all. When this military girl called and said I was still in the bags, when literally she knew the truth that I deliberately put all my stuff in my storage every night, not to hide things, not to steal things, not to, because I needed space in my car to sleep. She knew this, right? The fact that this same place that these police officers raided my storage unit, really, literally, to get the bags out of my storage, when literally I was locked out of my storage, y'all, for non-payment. I was locked out of it, and I literally told, this will save me, because I tell the truth. I told my boss, hey, I don't know, I may have more in my storage. They even knew I was sleeping in my car, y'all. But let's prove a point. This same place, right? This same place that I used to park my car and shower in, as I remove all my stuff and make my bed in the car after removing everything in here that I was not going to use for that night. This same place, my dog, this dog that I rescued, wasn't my dog at the time. The dog got electrocuted in that place and passed away. The same dog that I have today. This dog, it's on camera, y'all. Plus my kids was there. We all witnessed this, so I would never lie to fake it for nobody. This dog passed away in this place, y'all. And the foam was coming out of the dog's mouth. This place could have got sued. The same storage unit that allowed the police to come do that to my storage unit literally could have got sued for having that loose line out, right? And I did nothing about it. It still won't, because the angels see everything. This place have a recording of me reviving the dog. By literally, you could see on the footage where all I did was go to the dog, scared to touch the dog. We kicked the thing to the side, and I prayed over the dog. Was rock solid. You could see the legs stiff. Yeah, I'm not making this up. I prayed over the dog, y'all. I was, as I'm rubbing the dog, y'all, we're praying for the dog, and the dog just gets up and bark. I remember after that, I was like, because I went to jail right after this happened. Right after I posted a clip online and said, I just rescued a dog, y'all. I went to jail, y'all. Literally got my ass beat in jail. I think I'm going too
Give
far.
that knowledge away, all for free? Or would you consolidate that power, enslave the masses, and profit off the results? This theory posits that there is a war between good and evil, but not just a physical war, a war for our minds and for our souls.
That's to the people that say, why would they target you? You broke. This is why. This is why they keep me broke. Is that the question you want to ask? This is the reason why they make sure I stay broke.
By resetting our history, our controllers attempted to conceal.
But they could prove me wrong and stop hitting me financially and just let me do my own thing to show how powerful I am and how powerful they are, that they don't have to touch my finances. Oh, that's a plot twist.
They know that the truth will
because
set us free.
They know, let's go off that. They know that I'm being systematically in the situations that I'm in that they cause. So what does that say about me, and what does it say about them? I'm probably more powerful than y'all because I'm able to bypass things even when you put me in them, even when you're successful with it. It don't matter what you do. Here go the police again. Yeah, the police is literally right behind me. Like literally to the point where I'm gonna be doing too much to step outside and give him what he want and put the camera on this police officer. Let's just keep listening to the video because now I'm saying too much,
and
right?
Once the truth comes to light, it spreads like wildfire until change is inevitable. That is
Yeah,
why when
Father,
you
they
look at
don't
the
want me
symbol
to
of the
tell
capital
people
C,
this.
it contains two keys with crosses carved into them. They did not invent the cross. The cross is already here, and they assumed control of it. They hold the keys to the secrets of the star forts and the keyholes found all across the world.
So we reacted to these notifications, y'all.
Found all across the world during a time period.
Because that's what we're doing right now. We doing a reaction video.
Where we are taught there was no global society and minimal communication between these different cultures. It is also clear, looking at some of these old world buildings, that they underwent some sort of mud flood or cataclysm that buried much of the structure. That's why in so many of these old world buildings...
Makes so much sense why you don't want me to talk about this. You keep intimidating me because this whole town was flooded. I heard stories. This is not. This is something that somebody told me. That's a native of this town. That there's the real city is underneath this entire town that they built over it. So
You will find windows and doorways built underground and tunnel systems connecting many
thank
of
you.
these buildings
That's
together.
confirmation.
The existence of these underground structures and tunnel systems
Matter of fact,
challenge
the place where I live, there's a building that's ancient that I just saw a video a month ago about the first engine, the water engine that they made. And I go get deep into it because I really didn't pay too much attention, but I get what I was supposed to pay attention to. There's a big engine that they couldn't get rid of and that it's still there to this day. And all they did was improve the building by making structures on top of it. So now to this day you can go under there and see that engine. So the claims that this young lady told me of the town being rebuilt over and that the real town is underneath here, people don't understand that this is happening in so many regions, y'all. So this town needs to be investigated.
the mainstream narrative of history. These remnants suggest a highly advanced civilization once thrived, possessing knowledge and technology far beyond our current understanding. The mud flood or cataclysm that buried these structures could have been a deliberate act to erase this advanced civilization from our collective memory. It raises questions about who orchestrated such an event and why. Moreover, the widespread nature.
So I get what this lady was trying to tell me. She's your folks were wiped out like the Tartarian Empire. She's not telling me I'm a part of the Tartarian Empire. She literally couldn't say that in the video. This is what she wanted me to see. This is what she wanted me to see. This whole town is literally underneath this town. The ancient town is underneath this town and it needs to be investigated.
These architectural similarities hints at a global
Because
society that was
there's
interconnected.
gonna be symbolism as to what's happening right now when they uncover what's underneath this town and the things that happen, because the evidence of what really happened is still there.
Ways we cannot fathom today. The idea that
Thank you
such a
to my
society
ancestors
existed during a time
and for me
period
being in
we
tune
believe
with
was
mine.
marked by isolation and minimal global.
Even from a padded cell, they talk to me. Yeah, they give me insight. And I'm being sarcastic because they put me in that padded cell and they kick I'm telling you, y'all, I DYE in that padded cell. My nose is bloody. They beat me up. And it's the fact that people don't want to hear what I'm saying. They're gonna continue to let it happen to other people. And no, I don't want to this to the brotherhood that's gonna try to rush in real quick. No, I don't care to sue. Else I would have been did it. No, I don't care to get justified with it. No, because I would have been got that a long time ago. See, spiritually, you crown me because I don't move and the angels gonna move for me. The angels are being forced to move for me, and this is the reason why I'm not doing nothing. So when you come into that energy, like I said, if anything is prohibiting these things, you're gonna get haunted. That's why you get paranormal activity. Imagine being in the room to where you can't control it with technology. You just gonna have to face that. That's for the brotherhood.
Is both intriguing and unsettling. It implies that our history has been deliberately altered or obscured, leading us to underestimate the capabilities and achievements of our ancestors. If indeed there was a global society with advanced technology and knowledge, what happened to it? Did it fall victim to
Next time, every time I do these lives, we're gonna face, I'm gonna turn my car the opposite way so y'all can see the traffic that I get when I'm live, y'all. So from now on, if you see me live, jump on real quick so you can see when I'm talking about certain things who passed by.
natural disasters, or was there a more sinister force at play? And what about the knowledge and technology they possessed? It's plausible that this knowledge was not completely lost, but rather hoarded and hidden by a select few. These gatekeepers, symbolized by the keys of the papal state, could have been the ones who decided the fate of this knowledge, whether to use it for the betterment of humanity.
And yeah, I'm not saying that all these police officers are in on it. Nope, I'm not anti-cop because definitely all of them not in on it. In fact, you have to have an invite to even know certain tactics, y'all. So definitely we not campaigning that the cops are all corrupt, because there's definitely some good cops out there.
Or for
I feel
controlling
like
and
I had to say
subjugating
that.
the masses. The truth about our past is not just a matter of historical interest. It has profound implications for our present and future. If we can uncover and understand the secrets of this ancient civilization, we might be able to solve many of the challenges we face today, including energy scarcity, health crises, and spiritual malaise. In conclusion, the symbols, architectural remnants, and historical anomalies point towards a hidden chapter of human history. Unraveling this mystery could be key to unlocking our full potential as a species. It is imperative that we question
You know what? Speaking of the cops, what's funny is a lot of these people don't know that some of these cops have been approached by people that's trying to abolish the program, and they don't know that they're amongst these people that's taking notes. This is so important that they know. So this to the brotherhood.
Narrative presented to us, seek the truth, and use it to create a better world for all.
What on earth happened?
I know I just threw a lot of information at you guys, and if this is the first time you are hearing about the Tartarian theory, I don't expect you to understand everything at first. In fact, none of us truly know for certain what the mysteries of our past hold, and it's impossible to cover everything in just one video, especially because more and more discoveries are being unearthed every day with the continued rise of the internet and artificial intelligence. On your screen now are some topics that I did not cover in today's video, but please let me know in the comment section below which subjects you would like to see covered next. I do believe that through prayer and positive visualization, coupled with our real-world efforts, we can eventually rediscover and even reverse engineer the ancient technologies that once were. In pursuing this quest, we must proceed with caution and awareness, recognizing the immense power of this knowledge. It's akin to a double-edged sword, capable of being wielded for benevolent purposes or malevolent ends alike. This is why it's imperative that we maintain a balance of wonder and responsibility, ensuring that our discoveries are harnessed for the greater good of humanity in mind, and that we conduct ourselves with integrity and wisdom in this pursuit. In light of this, the remainder of this video will serve as a repository for the Tartaria subreddit. I've noticed an increasing influx of skeptics on the site, and there's a growing concern that this rich collection of theories and discussions might one day face permanent closure. I hope I am wrong, but I do feel that our days on this subreddit may be numbered. Contribute while you can. Thank you for watching, everybody.
Yeah, oh shit.
Never ever sue the driver who crashed into
Okay,
you.
so I was finna end the live, but I'm gonna listen to this video right here, y'all. Chosen ones, they are speechless and
There's
clueless.
a better way to get compensated that's faster, easier.
So we reacting to my notifications, y'all, to clarify
Chosen
everything I
ones,
said
something
about this
in the
corrupt
spiritual
program.
realm that you need to understand right now.
This is
While
Astro
someone
Autumn,
is in the
y'all.
middle of speaking lies about you, forming those twisted words in
Untouchable.
their throat,
Maybe not
you
until
snatch them
then.
clean away, not through your own effort, not through confrontation. The universe itself reached down and exposed the truth right in the middle of their performance.
So the first comment that was highlighted when I clicked the video, before I even pressed on the comments, to say untouchable, ha ha ha, maybe. Not until they realized they woke up a sleeping goddess from a dormant state. They awakened Godzilla.
This person has been building a false narrative about you for years. It became their lifestyle, their identity. Every conversation,
Oh, the
every
Godzilla.
every late night session was built around discussing you, mocking you, creating stories that had nothing to do with who you really are. But here's what just shifted in the unseen realm. The truth came out in the most unexpected way possible. Right in the middle of them talking, the lies got exposed in front of everyone who mattered. What you're about to discover is that this exposure didn't just embarrass someone, it altered the entire trajectory of their life. It's why it's important to document these experiences, to document these tactics when you see them playing out, because it may puzzle piece to what someone else has already said, and it justifies you immediately. So don't get your panties in a bunch when these people use this fear monger to get you to stop talking. When they try to sabotage things, let them do it. It's just like a lawsuit that you never even applied for. You're gonna get immediately justified just because of the things that you witnessed someone else already saw. Life. When you've spent years building your social connections around trash talking someone, and suddenly that foundation crumbles, you lose more than credibility. You lose your gathering places, your trauma bonding sessions, your whole way of relating to certain people. Think about a magician who's been performing the same trick for 20 years. Everyone's amazed, everyone applauds. Then you walk into the room, and without even trying, the curtain falls, the hidden card drops from their sleeve. 2 decades of carefully constructed illusion, destroyed in 2 seconds. That's what just happened in your situation. The divine doesn't play games when it's time to defend its chosen ones. And right now, someone is sitting in complete silence, awaiting results they cannot control. Let's talk about what really went down behind the scenes, and why your life is about to get significantly better. Imagine someone wakes up like any other day. They're planning their usual activities. Maybe they're about to meet up with their crew, the same people they've been gathering with to discuss you. Everyone knows the routine. They sit together, pull up your social media, analyze every post, laugh at things that aren't even funny. It's become ritualistic. But today something stops them cold. There's been an altercation, not just a disagreement, a brutal, life-altering confrontation that changed everything about their circumstances. The kind of blow-up that makes you question every decision you've made leading up to this moment. This person is now in isolation mode. When friends call asking to hang out, they decline. When the usual group chat lights up, they stay silent. They're sitting alone, scrolling through old messages, old photos, trying to understand how it all fell apart so quickly. And here's the wild part. They know exactly why. Deep down, they understand that karma has finally arrived at their doorstep. You need to understand what this means for you spiritually. When someone has been operating in deception for years, they build an entire ecosystem around that deception. They have enablers, co-conspirators, people who benefit from keeping the lies alive. But when truth crashes through that ecosystem, everyone scatters, the grouping up stops, the gang stalking ends, the coordinated attacks dissolve. For some of you, the people who were working together against you are now turning on each other. They're fighting amongst themselves because they all know the same truth.
This is true. This is true. I just got a couple calls from different people saying things that happened that's coinciding with things that I claimed back when people were doing certain things. That I would say, hey, this person did this, and now that person is seeing that person do this to them, and what it means is that right now they're panicking. Right now they're trying to get rid of evidence. Right now they're trying to fabricate documents and situations they're trying to cover up, just like these labels they created. This is all they do. They do things and then they create things to cover up what they do, thinking that it's, see, that's just the thing. The brotherhood like to do stuff and hide their hands, not realizing the people that you really should be worried about is the angels. They still see you. It's just like taking them off the map. They still see you. Now they're following you. So
Continue the
that's to the
charade.
brotherhood.
They look foolish. If they sit together and discuss you the way they used to, they're both clowns in a circus that just got shut down. The silence you're experiencing from certain directions isn't coincidence, it's strategic retreat. These people are pulling back their energy because they have to. Life put them in timeout. The universe said sit down and be quiet. And there are...
See, I would love to get into the formation of the redirect in my videos on my most wanted channel about narcissism and awareness of other things other than this brotherhood organization. I said this so many times, but when they power up on me and do certain things to show me that they're more powerful than me, it makes me want to spread the word more. So this is like a little plot twist for them. If you don't want me to expose you, then you messing with the wrong bitch.
Because they have no other choice. Here's what makes this whole situation so powerful. You didn't have to do anything to make this happen.
Yeah.
You didn't blast anyone on social media. You didn't send long text messages defending yourself. You didn't organize a counter campaign. You simply existed in your truth. And your truth became so heavy, so undeniable, that it crushed the lies without you lifting a finger. This is what it means to be chosen. You're not in people's lives by accident. When the divine sends you into someone's path,
right,
you're either going to be a massive blessing that elevates them, or you're going to be the final stop before their schemes come crashing down. There's no middle ground with you. For years, certain people have been getting away with the same patterns, the same manipulations, the same tricks.
Just talked about this.
They've hurt people, deceived people, used people, and somehow always slipped away without consequences. They thought they were untouchable.
This is alignment.
They believed their own illusions. They got comfortable in their deception. Then you showed up. and everything they built started crumbling. You're the last straw, the final test, the person they will never recover from trying to play. After you, they won't be able to perform those tricks anymore. The magician's secrets are revealed. The con artist's methods are exposed. 20 years, 30 years, 50 years of the same routine ended in minutes because you walked into the narrative. Now they're sitting somewhere, reflecting on their choices. They're isolating, not because they want to, but because they're terrified of what comes next. They're studying themselves for the first time, really looking at their patterns, understanding that what they've been doing to people is wrong. You sent them on an awakening they never wanted, but it's the awakening they desperately needed. While this person sits in isolation, something else is unfolding that they don't even realize yet. The same people they used to gather with to laugh about you are now gathering without them, laughing about them. The tables have turned so dramatically that it would be comedic if it weren't so serious. These former allies are sitting around, looking at the situation, and they're entertained by this person's downfall. They're scrolling through social media, seeing the cryptic posts, the scripture quotes, all the signs that someone is in their feelings and scared, and they're mocking it. The same way they used to mock you as a group, they're now mocking the one who's been exposed. If this message hits your spirit, hype this video so more chosen ones like you can find it. Does this satisfy you? Maybe. Maybe not. You might be evolved enough that you don't take pleasure in anyone's suffering, but you should understand what's happening here spiritually. The people who bond over gossip and negativity never have real loyalty to each other. They're bonded by a shared target, not by genuine connection. Remove the target or change the circumstances, and they turn on each other instantly. This person is finding out who their real friends are, and the answer is devastating. Nobody's checking on them. Nobody's defending them. The phone isn't ringing with support. The group that seems so tight is nowhere to be found when consequences arrive.
See, let me give you an example, because I just got this girl who put me in jail post in my feed, and I don't even follow her. I'll be sarcastic and say what she said, but this is not really what I wanted to address. But in her feed, when I got this eviction notice, she said something about, you see, the difference between me and you is that I own my place. I don't pay rent, right? This young lady mother, her mom that helped me out back then when she did this to me, because all because I wanted to move out, because her and her mom was beefing. She was saying that, jealous things like my mom likes you more and all this stuff, right? And everything, I noticed that everything her mom said was true about her, because I'm seeing it now. But the fact that right now her mama, I saw this again in newsfeed. This girl mama went to jail for it said that in the article, it says that the grandma went to jail for having open, in other words, the little girl ate a gummy. One of the they said it was the grandma's gummies. But I'm thinking back, and I remember that the daughter used to eat gummies. I remember, and I'm realizing that the girl set her mom up, because I remember they was arguing about the house that the grandma left behind for her daughter. But the granddaughter, which is the girl who put me in jail, was saying that the grandma left it to her. And I kind of told her, I was like, maybe, because I'm trying to figure out, why would the grandma not leave it to her daughter and not and leave it to her granddaughter? And she got other kids. Why wouldn't she? Normally the parents would leave it to the children first and then enlist the grandchildren too. But I realized that the daughter set her mom up for the house. This is how she was able to work with these people to go against her mom, because her mom and her was supposed to go against me, but the mom liked me, so she couldn't do this. She told the truth. So in this same token, this young lady, this feed that they put in my feeds, and she's saying something about, and I believe she was talking about somebody else, but algorithm is very messy. When she said something about, I can expose you, I have text messages and stuff, and was saying, so I think she was talking about her son's girlfriend, from what I'm reading on this thing, because like I told you, I don't even follow this girl, but they keep sending me her fucking posts, because what happens is it remembers that she posted me, so I keep getting her. Maybe what it says is, you may know this person. But This girl, did this to her mom because the mom, oh man, y'all, the mom has Cherokee DNA, y'all. The lady, here we going back to this because this is what it all start from. This lady was infatuated with my looks, y'all. She kept telling me. In other words, she wouldn't say this, but she knew that I had her same features, the same cheekbones. Even when I would say it, she would like change the subject really quick and smile. And then her daughter would hear her say these things, and it made her jealous because she does not have the features. She does not have the features, and this created some type of jealousy amongst this girl and her mama, to where this lady literally is being sabotaged. So I'm really speaking up for this girl who put me in jail for those pizza bags mom, because her daughter is literally working against her mom for her demise, that you got her put in jail for something that she didn't do. Because I haven't seen them in years, but when I seen that article, I said to myself, damn, she threw her mama under the bus, because that definitely wasn't her mom's gummies. Those were hers.
Something is coming your way that's going to make you exceptionally happy, right in the middle of your regular life, while you're just going about your day. News is going to reach you. Information about this
I
situation
know that was her
that makes
gummies,
everything click into
because
place.
she used to always shade me about smoking back then, because that's when I first started smoking sativa heavy, because I always was on hemp. I always smoked hemp, y'all, but I started smoking sativa, and she tried to shade me and telling me, because her and her son smoke, so since she like to screenshot stuff and expose people, let's expose the fact that you smoked with your son, and try to shade me like as if I was broke, can't afford weed. But that's not why I wasn't buying weed. I was trying, because I had a DCF case, little mama, so I was trying to make sure my system was clear of it. But this young lady would tell me to take gummies. She always had gummies and would promote this to me and smack them real crazy. So I'm proving the point that this young lady was into gummies and not her mom. Matter of fact, she told me her mom had a pill problem. So now you I don't know if I should say all that.
You're going to understand the full scope of what was happening behind your back, and instead of making you angry, it's going to bring you peace.
I'm being sarcastic speaking on that to make them stand down, so that this little mama won't face a lawsuit that should have already been done when you posted my information online, and I reported to TikTok and Facebook and all of them to have you remove it, and it's still up there to this day.
Because here's what you'll realize. These people never had power over you. They thought they did. They gathered and plotted and schemed like they were affecting your destiny. But your path was always protected. Your purpose was always secure. Their lies were just noise that the universe eventually muted. This happiness that's coming isn't temporary. It's not a brief moment of satisfaction that fades.
I want y'all to understand I'm being very strategic and sarcastic with my sarcasm, because I see the route they're trying to take. As far as the few people that reached out and said I'm saying my address online, no, this organization used one of their own to expose my information on her own platform that's viral, and gave people my picture and address.
When the next challenge arrives, this is permanent positioning, a life-altering shift in your circumstances that brings lasting peace. You're moving into a space where those who spoke against you have to remain silent, not for a season, forever. Let's talk about illusions for a moment. Some people spend their entire lives painting false.
And by the way, her and her son is following me on this channel. They found me one day. This young man was bullying me on my page. She had her son. This young man is a nice young man, but he listens to his mom. That she had him writing me on his own account. He probably erased all those comments, but if you would have saw it, this boy wrote on all my videos on this channel right here, and literally was talking crazy about me and my children, and they didn't even know us from a can of paint. This girl had just met me from work, so I noticed the direction when they was writing that, like, hold up, y'all don't even motherfucking know me, first of all. Second of all, what you talking about is not even fucking true. But I saw what she tried to do. She did that because she knew I had that DCF, that corrupt DCF case, and she thought it was gonna go the different route, and she could use that to get my kids taken from me. But all it did was expose that she lied about the bags, because literally, I was able to prove to them this girl was following me around, and it was showing, what's the word, that she was literally not sabotaging is not the word, but she was trying to sabotage me. She was really retaliating against me because I moved. This girl begged me. When I was leaving out, we left on good terms. You would never think that you would think that we went through something. How she went hard, lied and called the GM and told him I stole the bags, and then wrote my name everywhere online. Because I screenshot that and showed that lawyer, they closed the case when it wasn't even going that way. At first, it looked like they was finna make me pay for the bags and all type of stuff, but I never lied. I never stole the fucking bags. I was displaced and had nowhere to go, and I lost my fucking storage. The next morning, matter of fact, you see it in the text, my shit was locked. They put a lock on my fucking storage, so I had no clue, to be real, on my whole soul. I had no clue. I still had more. You could see me on camera bringing this to this guy every time I retrieve one. All of these people at that job did the same thing, to where this girl lied so bad that she forgot she gave me some of her bags to return. That same day I left her house, when I was leaving, we was leaving on good terms. I gave her a lecture about fixing her relationship with her mom. I didn't argue with her after helping her with her home. After, I'm talking about, buying my cheap Drano that she said she didn't need, to get the E. coli out of all of her toilets that her children was taking a poop in. Before, I wouldn't even bring my kids there, y'all. I didn't even bring my kids there until I cleaned that lady house first. And we was only there for 1 or 2 fucking days, that she ran me out of there with the bizarre activities she was doing in the house, with letting all the dogs out in there while we sleep, as a form of waking us up, is what she said. This girl was on to something the minute she met me before I even went to her house. Matter of fact, her mom was the one who invited me, because she heard my story from the coworkers and said, hey, my mom said that we have a space in the house that you could rent out. We never even got to that point. After me paying her, I just let her keep whatever. She agreed to pay me my money back and never did. But y'all, I'm only showing you that they recruit people. This is my whole motive. They recruit people to stage things and then document things to act like this young lady who lied and is saying she would expose people based off of text messages, based off of directions that you started to begin with.
Of reality. They manipulate situations to make themselves look good.
Thank you, Father.
And others look bad.
Confirmation.
They control narratives through careful presentation, strategic omissions, and outright lies.
So I said that so they can abort mission with using that girl, because she gonna expose things that you don't want to be talked about.
For a long time.
Because there's things she mentioned to me that I never spoke about on my YouTube channel. But I won't speak of it until she try to feel the need to work against me like she just did her mom.
But here's the thing about illusions. They only hold up in darkness. The moment light hits them, they dissolve. And you, chosen one, you carry light whether you realize it or not. Your presence illuminates things that people wanted to keep.
To the young adult now, because he's a grown man now, since I know you watch my lives, imagine knowing that your mom went against your grandmother, the very one that loved you so much. So instead of trying to take up for your mom so much, you need to embrace the fact that she's being used against you and your own, boo.
This person should have been more careful. They should have understood that you can run a scam for 20 years, but it only takes one moment of truth to destroy everything. One person brave enough to speak up. One piece of evidence that surfaces at the wrong time. One slip-up that reveals the pattern. And now everyone who ever encountered this person's schemes is waking up. People from years ago, from the past, from forgotten chapters, they're all going to start comparing notes.
Don't worry, I won't say their names, y'all, because they itching to sue me for stuff, so I won't mention these people names.
Manipulation, the same lies, the same tactics. And when enough people come forward with identical stories, the picture becomes crystal clear. This is your vindication, not because you sought revenge, but because truth always rises. You don't have to be in the room when the exposure happens. You don't have to present evidence or make arguments. The schemes expose themselves when their time is up.
Yeah.
And the divine makes sure you're the catalyst that triggers the exposure. For some of you, this situation is even more serious than social embarrassment. This goes beyond someone losing face in their friend group. This person might actually be facing legal consequences, real trouble with...
See, that's the thing. They wanted to socially embarrass me, but the tactics that they use is going to be tied to them in ways that they never imagined.
Real authorities. The kind of situation where you need to make arrangements about who's handling your responsibilities while you deal with the fallout.
So I'm not worried about the fallout. I'm not worried about them systematically trying to get me into a facility somewhere or get me put out my house like they just gave me an eviction notice. I'm not worried about them sending Mr. Price in to try to play with my granddaughter, the baby that he said he never wanted because you want to move up the ladder. I'm not worried about that. You should be worried about your tactics being exposed.
Clever. They thought they...
That's for the brotherhood. And I'm not even talking about Mr. Price per se. Mr. Price is just being used as a pawn. I'm talking about the brotherhood. You're manipulating. Now you're being exposed for interfering with Mr. Price and his life, and also the people that you send him in to mess with their lives.
Covered their tracks. They believed their own lies so deeply that they forgot
because that's what Miss Avant is going to expose. No matter where you have me, on the street, living in my truck, in a solemn room, with the help of my ancestors, we're going to expose it and get me rescued like they did in that padded cell.
Actually collapse under their own weight. Now they're sitting somewhere, biting their nails, being as quiet as possible, hoping that somehow this all blows over. But it won't blow over. This is the karma they've been accumulating for years, finally coming due. Here's something you need to understand about the number 20. In spiritual terms, it represents completion of a cycle, maturity, the end of one phase and the beginning of another. This person has been operating in their deception for approximately 2 decades. Maybe not exactly.
They like to use symbolism. They like to use numbers. They like to use people that, if you notice, to the people that's being targeted, if you notice that most of the people that sabotage things for you, it's always a specific number they carry, even based off their names. Like I said, this guy named Mr. Price. Y'all, like, they like to, because they're doing a ritual. So to the people, the baby Masons, the baby brotherhood guys that like to be a part of this alliance, understand when they do the ritual on them, they're doing it on you because it's all about you, boo. So now you included, and you can get you can be affected. So that when spiritual people like me are involved, when they reverse these things on y'all, now you getting everything you wish for them, it's gonna happen to you.
Financially, they've manipulated
spiritually,
emotions.
YouTube.
They've collected resources they didn't earn. They've built a reputation on lies, and for all those years, they somehow avoided consequences. People gave them.
You see, let's say this: I'd rather leave an input on in the universe of giving back to people and being there for people, helping them elevate, helping them eat, helping them sleep, helping them move, helping them walk if they can't, helping them see if they can't, because that follows you to the brotherhood. This message is for you.
And never heard from them again. People trusted them with opportunities and got betrayed. People believed their words only to discover they were fiction. You might be
to the brotherhood boys who are experiencing paranormal activity. Most of us aren't experiencing those activities that you are. You don't know why? Because we're not out here sabotaging people's lives. So if you want, it's no exorcist that's going to get rid of these paranormal activities. You may see it subside, but it's still attached to you. No matter, you find yourself doing a paranormal exorcist all the time now. You won't have to do those things if you live right, if you do better for people. So again, you are attaching yourself to these spirits. You can't just abolish spirits like we can abolish your entire program.
Encountered this person 20 years ago. Maybe you gave them a small amount of money for something that never materialized. Maybe you were part of a group they deceived. You forgot about it because what else could you do? You moved on with your life, wrote it off as a loss, and never thought you'd see justice. But justice doesn't forget, and now all those people from the past are going to be contacted. There might even be a class action situation where everyone who got scammed bands together to hold this person accountable.
And this is when I said this in my video a while ago, Astro Autumn. I'ma like the video. I said this. A lot of people that's being targeted are gonna have class action lawsuits, y'all. It's gonna come out like a stimulus check, y'all. I don't know if it may happen this year, next year, in 20 years, or when, but it's gonna happen because all of these things are being noticed now. So the thing is, if you are being targeted, please make sure you speak out about it. Make sure you tell somebody about it. Make sure it's documented, the things, the experiences you are experiencing, because it's deeper than money and getting a settlement. It's about your lives that have been affected being justified.
All those stories that seemed isolated are actually part of a massive pattern, and patterns once recognized cannot be ignored. This is the magnitude of what you triggered just by being yourself. You didn't set out to expose anyone. You weren't investigating their past or building a case.
Nope, just was investigating things that was happening.
Authenticity, and your authenticity was so powerful.
See, that's the thing. I don't have this. When I get older, I want to be a conspiracy theorist. I never set out to just expose the brotherhood. I never cared about the brotherhood, and I still don't. Even when I'm exposing what they doing to me, all I'm doing is exposing the things I see them do to me.
Their false structure to collapse. The house of cards they built over 20 years fell in 20 seconds. There's something heavy happening in the atmosphere around you right now. It's the weight of truth.
I don't care that I have family members that is a part of this brotherhood program, that I have family members that go to these lodges to this day now. I don't care about that. I don't care about protecting them, because they're definitely not protecting me. So that's for the baby brother Mason boys and the baby Eastern Stars. They don't really care for you.
For so long, lies have been floating around your name, your character, your intentions. Those lies were light and airy, easy
Most
to
of
spread.
these people are a part of these tribes that were affected when this program first was created. So the fact that people think that they are non-exempt because they are a part of the alliance is the real joke in disguise. So to the baby, this for you guys. The joke's really on you, because you're helping sabotage your own lineage.
Quick to travel, but truth is dense. Truth has substance, and when truth finally lands, it crushes everything false underneath it.
To the people who stand by and watch these things happen, especially the influential people, the people that have more status, to the people that sit back and say, hey, well, I got to protect mine. You're definitely not protecting your ancestors. All you doing is protecting your monopoly life.
Face a judge, not just metaphorically. For some of you, this is literal. Court dates, legal proceedings, official judgments.
Calling everybody aboard. That I'm hearing that saying, all aboard. This all the people that's noticing this. All aboard on this. This the trend that you need to follow. This gonna affect your children if you don't.
It will be documented.
This gonna affect the next generation to come if you don't. And imagine you evolving, like I said, you in a realm where you can't get their attention. You can't protect them. That alliance that you formed, they can't help you anymore. They're useless to your mission. Everything you did affected them, and everything you continue to do will affect your generation before you.
Person who thought they'd never face consequences is now looking at a situation where consequences are unavoidable. Think about what
they made my phone power off. Y'all, message to the brotherhood. You got the chance to help your ancestors transcend. This is your chance to make amends. This is your chance to change things. This is your chance to admit you made wrongs. This is your chance to see that you're treating people wrong. This is your time to stand up for what's right, because it's all about you. It's not a day that go by that I think about this and I say to myself, why do people want to see people down? Why do this semester to the brotherhood? This is something you should think about. Why do you want to sabotage people? Why do you get a kick out of this? It says something about you. Something's really wrong with you to want to do things like this to people, to control their minds, to control their thoughts, to control everything they do. understand that your ancestors didn't realize that everything they told you and they taught you was the cause of their demise, being stuck in the realm where they can't transcend. That's probably a horrible feeling for them. So understand that now is your chance to make it better. This is your chance to make it right for you, to make a better future for you, because in the next realm, this alliance won't follow you. You won't see these people that you are amongst with. That's, see, that never forgotten. It means that your lineage, that's where you go back to. You go back to your ancestors, and you may be stuck in the room with them. But see, look, mine, they transcend as I speak, because I speak for them. See, look, I might not have the money and things to pass down to my next generation, but I have the deeds, the real ones, not the ones that man made, the ones that we make it when we energetically intertwine with each other, when we make these gestures for each other, when we sit back and allow these people to go against us, we don't help each other. You definitely not helping yourself. But see, it may be too late for some of them, y'all, because they too stuck in their ways. But for most of them, they see this and they have the opportunity to change it. And this shouldn't be ignored. These things should be studied more closely, because this affects everyone as a whole. Oh man, I think I'm going too far, but this is something that I think the brotherhood should know. You continue on this mission and see, look, I'm hearing the frequency noise in my ear right now. This is proof that this technology is being used amongst so many people, and it's a danger to society. Like they like to label the targeted individuals a menace to society. This program is a danger to society. The tactics that they use interfere with other people that have nothing to do with this. They don't have anything to do with the subject at hand that's being studied by this program. This is why people should understand this. And I know a lot of people get scared to talk about it. This is why they won't touch base on it. But once they realize it affects them, because like I said, this alliance won't follow you to the next room. So what do you do now? Are you going to be in the same predicament that your ancestors are in, praying for you to change your way of living to help them transcend? Because it's like a magnetic effect. We all attached. Look, everything we do is affecting them. So everything you don't do won't help them. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna stop right there. That was my cue. I think everything I said was enough to prove that right now what we seeing online is a lot of people being sabotaged. Right now what we seeing online is agents in the comments. Right now what we seeing online is agents making videos to, just like a label like schizophrenia, to cover up tactics being used. It's deeper than just trying to help that person. It's more of trying to sabotage that person so that people won't listen to what they're saying, because the bigger picture is that this is interfering with the people around them, not just them. I think that was deep, so I'm gonna say it again. See, this is a big cover up to cover up the fact that not only is the people that are being targeted are being sabotaged, the people around them are being affected by the things that's being done to them. This is why this is a danger to society. This is the reason why this alliance needs to be abolished. This is the reason why it needs to be globally known worldwide, so that this needs to, matter of fact, this needs to be in the curriculum. This needs to be taught to generations to come, so they can avoid these tactics, so that once this program is abolished, because it will be, I'm so confident, I don't care if I'm here to see it, once this program abolished, we don't let nobody else try to rev it up and reunify it like the KKK did when they was abolished and called inhumane, like slavery was, like slavery is now. The fact that we have to work for things that are free. Hey, Mr. Trump, to the things we should have gardens, so that people, there won't be any hungry children, there won't be any infomercials of feed the children, because they will have gardens in their backyard. These were things that were stripped from these tribes. These things need to be known worldwide. So we want to know the cause of crimes and things that's happening worldwide. We need to get to the nitty gritty, the rooty tooty of it. And this is where it starts from, this alliance wanting to control things with this monopoly system that they created to have more power over certain people that they were in fear of. This is the whole purpose of me saying all this. These people they were in fear of. They put all these magical leaders, like we segregate certain people. They put all these magical beings together when they start. This is what slavery was really about. This is what I feel. This is what slavery was really about. It was never about money. We just adapted to the system, but it was never about that. It was about the social experiment of seeing how these magical people could make things happen because they wanted to mock them. That's why they called most of them witches. I spoke about the Salem witch trials, and I said I wasn't gonna talk about it, but I'm gonna say a little bit. They was in fear of these people. They mocked them amongst their communities and their people, and told you these people were curses, when really they were infatuated by the things that these people were able to do. They was afraid that if word got out and more people woke up to their real gifts and the truth, that they wouldn't be able to control them. They wouldn't be able to control certain territories that they feel had magical existence, like the Florida water. There's so many different tribes that carry certain things that they inhabited, and they wanted to have control over it, just like the miracle marijuana. The miracle, let's call it miracle marijuana, that medical attributes. That the fact that it's funny that we make certain things that could take you out legal, and that this is the point I'm trying to prove. This is my opinion though. The fact that you're so scared, I feel like marijuana was abolished because they were scared of it. Just like people that were wiped out, they were scared of them. Because if we weren't scared of them, we wouldn't care of their existence. Just like the Negro boys and girls, they were scared of because of their complexion. It never changes. The tactics never change. They just evolve. And the fact that people of color continue to sit back and let it happen, thinking that it's not affecting them because it's not affecting them literally, don't realize that it affects them as a whole, because you are viewed the same way. Oh man, I think I'm gonna stop this video, y'all. Thank y'all for listening.